to say one, you just point at the person. And by the way, I think we're live and
Casey,
streaming
we don't
now.
have any cam.
I know, that's when it occurred to me, and I was like, do I say one? Do I get halfway through it? What do I do? Like, I'm actually pointing at the camera like I'm sending it over to you, Dave.
You're also supposed to count down from 5 and omit 2 and 1 as silent.
Okay, so look, I went to a budget theater. We didn't have the money for 5 and 4, so we just made do with what we had.
I also don't think that we're actually live because Captain Reboot is still offline.
I'm
Twitch.
pretty sure it's trying super hard
It
right
just
now.
got on. Yep.
So, hi Twitch.
Yay!
Hooray!
Yay.
And welcome to episode 10. We made it, guys.
Woo!
Darn. Yeah.
We're starting to push into the furthest this campaign has ever gone, and the most successfully.
Yay!
We are successful peoples.
Because we haven't lost a player yet.
Give it time.
Yet.
Haven't
Like,
lost
by
any
lost, I
players yet.
physically misplaced the player.
See?
Although currently the bird seems a little lost.
No, come back, bird.
He's just hiding.
The bird is a little bit lost and waiting for a player. I'm trying to get confirmation if they are going to be here.
It sounded like it today.
The way we were talking throughout the week, yes, but
Is he on?
he's
I do
offline
believe
at
the
moment, so I'm gonna
website
ping
still
him.
says 8:30.
The website does
Does
say
it? I
8:30.
told. Okay, I told Sin.
Give them some slack. The family stuff is happening for the
Yes.
two of them.
Yeah.
I think just for Sin, actually. But Kyle's looped into that.
I mean, I feel like their family got merged a while back, so it spills over.
Happens.
Actually, is it? Someone check the. This is a well-functioning production, folks. As we try to check the website.
You know
for
what?
time the game is posted for?
It's this sort of improv and
It's
time
raw.
filling that really trains you as a player to respond to what the DM says when you have no idea what they mean.
Actually, while we wait for that player,
Ooh.
there is a some space we can fill via one player who was not at last week's session.
No.
Hi.
Dare you.
Gasp.
So, before we go into the full recap, we will go into a little bit of an offshoot here. Isoba. After meeting with the Margrave, you've been a bit concerned, a little bit on edge. Your thoughts are kind of all over the place about what you should be doing and where you should be going, especially after that vision you had in the forest. And it led you to take a bit of a walk. And where that walk led you was to the center of the town, to where that large golden dragon statue is. As you're walking and you're thinking and you're just getting lost within your own head, you notice something odd standing near the statue. While it's bright and sunny out, it's a very clear day. There's someone wearing a full hood and cloak. And everyone else seems to be just ignoring. And from the way their body's positioned, they are staring directly at you.
I put my helmet on.
You put your helmet on.
And I reach out through the helmet into hopefully another creature that exists there.
And you get back feelings a bit of slightly nervous, bit impatient, and waiting.
I will take off my helmet and approach them.
And as you approach, the person pulls their hood back just enough for you to see through the shadows of their hood. It looks normal and human until you start to decipher some of the features. There's a greenish tint to the cheeks, lines of scales that make their way down the neck. Their eyes are yellow and with reptilian slits, and the teeth are fanged, longer than they should be.
Give a respectful half bow of acknowledgement.
The creature nods as well, and you see, as they nod, you see more past the hood. There's long black hair that trails down, disappears behind the cloak, and a golden necklace that hangs around the neck, as well as two gold and emerald rings on the fingers. And the creature speaks. My queen sends her regards.
What can I do for her?
She wishes for an update on your group's recent advances into the city. We are waiting upon that bull that was promised, as well as
On the what that was promised? I'm sorry.
the bull.
I have no memory of this.
Didn't
You
we
promised
do
a bull
something
to replace the Gorgons.
We bought a bowl and did something with the bowl.
Do not think you all bought the bull and sent it away.
It has not been sent away yet. Plans were made, but have not been executed.
You have a bull. It is somewhere. You just need to send the bull.
We have acquired a bull as promised, but there is a situation in the town that requires more immediate attention.
Gather your group. We will meet you in the tavern we have found you staying at. There is another concern the Queen wishes to ask favor of.
This was not in our deal. We are already stretching our necks very far for her.
She is not going to ask without payment. Come and listen if you will. You have no need to a favorable reply.
We
It
will
is
hear you
wise.
out, of course, of course.
Thank you. And the woman nods her head. We will be waiting for you. And you watch as her form vanishes. And you hear slight footsteps just walking away.
I slowly make my way back to the tavern.
I do not know where our resident bird is. So I'm going to start the session and hope they show up. So, to do a proper introduction, and to catch Isoba up on whatever else we've done, in the last adventure, the party, after doing some combat with ghouls and a bit of some spy-on-spy action at the docks, found themselves back at the guard barracks. The guard captain brought them into an interrogation room and cast a zone of truth within the room. And this led to a honest conversation that cleared the party of most suspicion as to whether or not they were involved. You were then led to the Margrave's home, where another conversation was had. The Margrave of Ivendar explained growing concerns about the city's location to the demonic incursion up north, and has asked the party to investigate and to find and clear out the cause. To that end, they offered a generous sum of 10,000 gold pieces and the location, last known location, of an old airship that they believe the party could make great use of. The first part of this new deal you struck, as you are currently making quite a few of them, was to go out to a graveyard that was slightly outside of the city's walls, seemingly to have been part of the city before it was drawn into itself, and investigate some grave robbing done by Margrave's family. You discovered within their open graves corpses and bones removed from deep dug graves and large coffins. And were ended up being assaulted by gnolls and a large, horrible, dog-like creature. You all wiped them out and are now still standing within the graveyard, debating what to do. So, fearless adventurers, what are you to do? And don't all speak up at once now.
I am so sorry.
No problem.
There's a bird!
He made
I
it!
lost track of time.
No problem.
Told you he was
I
hiding.
just finished an intro.
What are you talking about? He rolls like a 33 on stealth. He's been here the whole time.
Exactly. I've been here the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sure. What we was just thinking was, what should we be doing from here? Does we have a path to follow? Where this we thinking maybe a stick has been stolen and taken away too? Because I think we found that the one body was sort of like holding a staff, stick, rod shape.
Yes, the Margrave explained that one of the things that he believes was taken was a family heirloom, a very powerful magical object given to them by the dragon Evandar.
Yes, so does we have a good lead? Perhaps someone with better eyes to the ground? Because I think the gnolls came from southish?
The gnolls came from south and east and slightly north. They just kind of wrapped around the graveyard.
And I think there's only a little bit of east between where we are and ocean.
Yes.
Does we wish to offer pursuit? He says, looking at the others.
And which way was the city?
City's south. You're south and a little bit east. Sorry, a little west of the city. So you're northwest of the city. Directions.
They're important.
You're the general north, south, east, west direction from the city.
Yes. We should head west. But in the meantime, shall we sally forth, or is we needing the rest?
I'm totally fine.
I'm referencing character sheets.
Yes, Isoba, you look bright and cheery. Well
Isoba is
done.
not with you.
Isoba, I hear you in my head. I can't see you.
You are back at the tavern.
Oh,
Yes, we should probably go and rest then at the tavern for a little bit before we pursue.
You guys did take quite a bit of damage during that fight.
The
Prudence,
Kenku nods enthusiastically.
Prudence is reminded once again she hates arrows.
Obelisk is still feeling alright.
Yeah, the Kenku's pointing at the multiple spear stab wounds.
Oh, yes.
I think Snap actually took the worst of it.
Because they,
We should
that's
probably
right.
go find our healer.
Yes.
we had spent an hour on that, so I still have wind back. Or I have wind back. I should
Yes,
say.
you all took a short rest. You healed up a little bit, but
Yeah.
many
Snap did
spells
not
were
get the
spent,
benefits.
and
And we can hold that hobbit's feet to the fire, for he is suspicious.
oh yeah, that's right. You didn't like Hobbit.
wait, what? We have a hostage?
the hobbit.
The barkeep.
A hobbit.
There's a
barkeep.
halfling.
Does it the halfling barkeep?
I'm using the racial slur among halflings. I'm calling him a hobbit. That's a naughty word we don't use in D&D for certain
For
reasons.
fear of Tolkien.
For
For
fear,
legal reasons.
for fear of the estate of Tolkien.
Quickly come and shut this whole operation down.
Sorry there, I didn't mean to use the H word in mixed company. So back to the taverns then?
Yes.
If anyone is in dire need of healing, I can provide some support.
Snap waves his hand at you. Like, no, we're good. Just the rest is needed.
And I think we took a few moments just to throw like some dirt like during that hour back over the bodies and like not like rebury them, but lessen the chance that other dogs are going to make off with some of the thigh bones.
You
Artoria's not
did
happy that you
throw
desecrated the grave.
you did throw some dirt over the bodies. Artoria, you kind of led the charge on that.
Come on, Paladin, let's put that one back.
Paladin is upset at this idea, but begrudgingly tosses the bone back in the hole.
We'll go back to the tavern. You can gnaw on at halflings. I hear their toes just like chew toys.
They'd probably squeak when you bite on them too.
I've never bit on a halfling. That's there's a goal in D&D I hadn't thought of before. Show carrying on, then.
I believe so.
You all make your way back to the tavern, back map. Because I don't have city maps because they're large. Confusing. You all make your way back to the tavern, and you find Isoba sitting at one of the larger tables, looking perplexed.
Well, hey, Isoba. How is you?
I am doing fine. How are you?
Well-
Isoba, you notice your party is a little bit battle-worn.
And as you ask, the Kanku's just pointing at the multiple red spots.
Yes, I see them. What in the fuck happened to you?
Snap's going to
graveyard
make
throwdown.
angry null sounds.
It's, does the elfing just come and go with you? He's looking at Snap. Suppose so.
Snap's just going to quietly look at Rogue and then use the worst elven slang, like, slur there is for goblins.
Anyone
Oh,
who
there
speaks-
is no need for that.
Do you know Elvish?
I
does.
do.
Oh.
So, even
Wait,
though he's
shit.
not there, he did hear you speaking in the last session.
Gotcha.
What did you say about my uncle?
Okay, let us calm it down. Tell me what happened. What? You are back very soon.
Well, there was some gnolls and a gnoll dog thing, and they was frisky.
I'm not sure they were actually related, but
I need to remember if someone rolled a thing for that.
I think
I think we
Prudence
rolled,
did.
but
Yeah, because she
I'm
knew
just
she
going
knew
to assume
she
Prudence
knew not
did.
to poke it with a poke it with the extractor.
Yeah, I if I remember correctly, because 2 weeks ago, the creature was called the Lacruta. Crota. We'll go with the Crota. And it was a monster that is sometimes birthed in the creation worlds.
so that happened.
Yes. And then we checked in the grave for Owie, and there was no sign of the item of interest. And then we came to find you so we could go and pursue them and the items of interest.
So what you
Okay.
been up to?
I am getting over some sort of illness, I believe.
Snap's going to make some warding symbols at the Isoba. Just the general warding symbols of protection from, like, illness and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, Snap, you should be careful. It could be the avian flu.
Yeah,
Wow.
Snap's going to look at you again and repeat that slur.
what did I just say?
I don't care what you just said. And this is in Elvish.
Wait, what did he just say?
What do you think he said?
I don't know. It was something about my uncle again.
I pretty much have come to suspect that most things that Snap says aren't nice.
I mean, she would be right.
Okay, well, where are we going?
Well, it seems
question.
it seems we should be heading east. East. East.
Well, we need to track down wherever those gnolls came from. Don't have much of a lead. Other than, yeah, east is the most likely.
Snap's going to pull out the book and just start writing down in common. And there's not much east left from here.
Oh, that's true. Which should lead to a short search, unless they is on a boat.
Oh, Snap. If you check in your journal, by the way, I finally managed to make this.
Oh, thank you. I see
Under
them.
documents, there's the thing.
I see them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Those are the ones of important. The rest of them you would found to be not related.
What thing? Or do you mean like capital T, the thing, like a John Carpenter movie?
The thing. Don't worry about it. You don't have access to it.
Well, the lack of
so this
east.
is a body horror episode, yeah?
The lack of east should at least make things easy.
Certainly. So a few hours of rest, and then we set out to do some beach combing.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
And remind me, was it evening now? Because we were.
It is pushing into the evening, yes.
Oh, yes. So perhaps we should set out at first light.
Yeah, get to rest early, wake up early as possible.
I could do with a nap.
Oglosk is gonna get some drinks and stay downstairs for a little bit.
During some of that short rest, Snap would like to read over those things.
Okay. Yeah.
And the last one.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to go to the last one.
Okay. Okay. Let's do this first. As everyone is starting to settle in, I would like everyone to roll a perception check.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
With advantage because wind?
Sure.
Doing the big ol' assistance?
Perception.
Not that it mattered.
It's perceptive.
All of the over 20s. You notice the same halfling is working the bar, running around getting drinks for people. Same usual fare of people coming in and out. Farmers, workers, big, large men in aprons, and looks like they just come off of fours. They've got soot on their face. You notice that there's 3 individuals who are sitting at one of the tables. They all have cloaks over their bodies and hoods up. And every so often they keep glancing over to you guys in particular.
Has you noticed that halfling is here all the time? He's suspicious.
So I know it's almost as if he owns the place.
Still, the way he keeps disappearing into that back room.
As he comes out of the back room with like some food for another table.
Oh, I wonder if there's a magical portal that creates food and drink back there.
Dude, that's just what I was thinking. What?
You're getting some hard side eye from yourself.
Come on, Scoop, let's go investigate.
Zoinks.
She just like a deadpan stare at Rogue, like, are you fucking kidding?
quietly writing in his book,
So,
eventually turning it around for everybody else to read. Trying to be very stealthy about it.
Actually, Snap, you would have noticed, because you rolled the highest, you would notice this. You catch a glimpse at one of the figures as they look over to you. You just barely notice that one of them has a bright yellow eye.
He has jaundice.
No.
Somebody fetch that man some sugar water.
Now, when you say bright yellow eye, any specific shape to it that would give away what it would be?
Reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of cat-like, maybe. With that long slit in the center.
But the rest of the face is
You can't see.
normal
They're
humanoid?
keeping the hoods down low and staying mostly out of sight.
Basically, what I'm getting at is no snout protruding.
No. One of them is tall. The one you saw the eye of is tall. It's the only reason you got a glimpse at him, because he's sitting down. He's taller than you are, so you kind of see him.
Gotcha. Is it how big's the room?
Maybe. Oh, good question. About 50 by 30.
How far
To
away are they
walk
from
in.
us?
That's a big room.
About a good 15 feet. They're keeping their distance. They're just every so often they're just watching.
Yeah, this is.
And they're
important
also
information for me to
drinking
know.
and eating. They're not being the suspicious rogues in the back corner, but they're being the suspicious rogues in the middle of the bar.
Hey, us not that suspicious.
Snap is going to poof wind from underneath of his hood up into one of the rafters.
Okay.
Actually, no, not into the rafters. Underneath the table.
Okay. Under their table?
Under their table.
Okay.
Basically, pocket dimension it and then pop it back out, since it's within 30 feet of.
Roll a stealth check for wind.
Stealth check for wind. I need to pull up his sheet. Advantage because it's under the table, out of their line of sight.
Just straight roll. Okay. Wind. And they don't seem to notice.
I'm going to start perceiving through wind.
Okay.
And try to have him move around like under the table to try to get a glimpse at their face.
Okay.
From that low angle.
Make a perception check for wind at disadvantage.
Which would be at normal because he has advantage on keen hearing and sight.
He's trying to look up through past the table while being stealthy.
Oh, fuck me.
No. He can't get a good enough angle to peek and peer around.
Alright. Fuck, in that case. Poof. Back underneath the hood.
Okay.
And Snap will then tap on the book that he turned around for everybody else. And what they read is he wrote down, "Don't react, but we're being watched." One of them has an unusual eye. Reptilian.
Oh, I believe they are expecting us.
Well,
Give me that no shit look.
So what were you getting up to again?
Well, I have been waiting for you so that we can speak to them.
mean, you could have led with that part.
You came back all fucked up, and I needed to understand how.
Angry Knoll sounds again.
Yes, I understand.
Which, by the way, is freaking the shit out of a lot of other people in the bar. Every time you do that. Every time Snap does that, there's like dropped plates, drinks, and everyone's like, go back to eating and drinking.
So how does you wish to make the approach to those fine fellows?
Also, why?
Also why? Yes.
The Queen wants something else from us.
Oh.
Scribble, scribble, scribble. And why the hell did she not tell us while we were all in front of her?
I think she is the other queen.
Know.
Other queens. Not the Margraves, the queens.
Mm-hmm. Well, if she's come up with something else for us, we might as well hear it out. We can help them in any way.
Shall we then?
Sure.
Lets out an irritated sigh and pushes back from the table,
Yeah.
popping off of the chair onto the ground.
As you all start to get up and head towards them, there's a nod from one of them, and all three get up and start walking up stairs to the tavern rooms for you all to follow.
Yep, Snap's making sure his hood's pulled up.
Oh, we's doing this all clandestine like. Okay.
You all make your way upstairs, and the tree will open up a room and open it, and head inside. And one of them holds the door. And as you all pass by, you all see another woman with scales across. This time, it's not across her cheeks. It goes from under her eyes over the bridge of her nose, almost like freckles in a odd serpentine way. And the same piercing yellow eyes. And as you all step in, they all start to remove their hoods and cloaks, and you see three Eon T purebloods. One of them speaks up, the same woman that interacted with you, Isoba. Thank you for coming so quickly. Our queen sends her regard. And we'll be happy to hear that you procured the bull for our reintegration to the protection of our society.
You're welcome.
Reintegration's always a weird word.
Well, I think it has something to do with them turning it into metals.
Yes.
So what else can we do for you?
As we have started to prepare to leave, much of the problems of living so isolated have come to rise. Moving the sick, the young, the infirmed is not an easy thing, and though few in number, disease can harm us greatly. Our queen has asked a favor of one of you. And the eyes turn to Uglisk.
I just sit there awkwardly.
Yes, what would you like from Argalisk? He's actually not as disease-ridden as he may look, and he can wear a mask when he visits.
That is precisely the reason you are needed. He who grows with the forest.
Argalisk, I'm gonna need a little help here. What is this trying to say?
I think they want me to go with them.
Oh, I was getting the exact opposite message.
Some goblin maths again.
Artoria, I think this is for you and Argalisk and this fine people to sort out. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah, so why do you think that Uglisk can help you? Like, he has healing abilities, sure, but
That is why we need him. We need to make sure that on the promise of travel, our people are ready to move.
That makes sense.
it's true.
But
But why specifically Uglisk? Do you not have clerics within your own clan?
The Yanti shakes her head. Medicine women. But there is only so much one can do. We cannot branch out very far to find clerics or druids that would come to us and see us not for monsters, but for people in need. Your group has made an accord with our queen. You are trusted in her words.
when they talk about being seen as monsters and not instead of being seen who they are, that resonates pretty deeply with Uglisk. And he'll look at the party and accept the invitation and the call to help out a group of people that are in need.
The person who's talking reaches to their back and they pull out a small pouch. And on a little end table, they take it and they pour it out. And there is just a sack of finely carved gemstones. The queen has offered payment for this member of your group's service. And she will not leave you without a body of able stature.
Well, Artoria, I was thinking that slavery may be illegal in certain parts, but it's totally fine with goblins, so I'll just go ahead and take those gems for y'all.
Well, he's volunteering to go with them, but
Even better,
I'm
just
sure
take
this
a
is what
few
you want to do.
It's gems.
If you believe this is right, we will not stop you.
Ugla speaks up that you guys found him being beaten and treated unfairly, and so if he can treat people well and be amongst a group that would respect him for who he is and what he is capable of, then he will go with them, and that's where he feels that he belongs.
It's an honorable mission to take upon yourself.
Could maybe send along a message of what we're trying to get a hold of, because that would make
That's a good
everything
idea.
a lot easier if we could accomplish that. Then we don't have to worry about moving people that are too sick to move to
And
get them
Sorry, continue.
Really, like, try, like, not to move like, if they're, like, too young and sick, trying not to have them travel so far to get to a boat. Just mention to the queen what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I could do that. Pass on the. Do you want me to pass on the exact, like, hey, we're trying to get a flying airship?
We have, I guess, on good authority to the location of one of these. And if we could find it, and if it's fixable within a good time frame, it would be the best for them, really, because then they don't have to get close to anyone else to leave. We could come to them.
The Yuan-ti who's speaking nods. This would be most acceptable. And Artoria, as you're listening to the group talk and you're listening to Oglis speaking about doing something for the village because it's the right thing to do, it really sets into your core and you're reminded of your own past, as odd as it was. There is another gift our queen sends, for she would not like to leave you light of hands. And the Yuan-ti woman looks back, and now that he's without his hood, you see a larger Yuan-ti, standing above 6 feet tall. The mouth doesn't end where the lips should, and it continues and cuts into the cheeks, and you see fangs just ever so gently appearing from outside of the extended mouth. The skin is a soft green and yellow color, along with very bright, vivid yellow eyes. And as he nods his head, he moves his hand, you see a flicker of arcane between his fingertips.
And he speaks up. Hello. I am Anu. I will be the one joining your party.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello. Snap, does we have to cut him in initially, or does he not get a share of this one?
Tori's gonna kind of ignore Rogue's debating over money already. Just and like reach towards him with a hand like extended, like for a handshake.
Anu will reach out and shake your hand as well, and give you a bow of his head.
She'll return it. Sad. It would be sad to see Uglisk go, but nothing wrong with adding more friends to the group.
Oh, sure. It's nice to have someone expendable when heading into danger.
And you'll just get a bop on the head.
Oh, that's.
And it's a metal gauntlet, so it ain't gentle.
Oh. Did I say expendable? I meant dependable.
There you go. That's more like it.
Anu will do a hissing laughter at Rogue's thought that he would be expendable, and
It's a
just
little
do
off-putting, his laughter.
That's indeed quite off-putting. Also, Snap, what did you say about my uncle again?
Whenever he's laughing, Anu's gonna cast Disguise Self to make himself look like Rogue as he's laughing.
Rogue, how tall are you?
Very short. 3 foot 5 inches.
Okay, so there is now a rogue that is twice the size of rogue in the room.
And
This is
Prue's
Isoba's
just
nightmare.
gonna laugh at that.
Well, that's a fine representation of a very handsome goblin fellow. What did you happen to model that off of?
And I just chuckle again.
But while it is very nice to have you join us, we is about to undertake a expedition along the coast in pursuit of some gnolls and other ne'er-do-wells. Is there anything you should need in order to prepare for such an endeavor? Does you perhaps use armor and weapons? Or is you just magic types? I see you can do the face changing thing.
I have everything that I would need.
Oh, well, that's very good. That's commendable. Yes.
The auntie who has been speaking some entire time speaks up again. This is one of our fine up-and-coming arrogants. He should prove a reliable ally within your ranks.
Oh yes, the Yuan-Ti is well known for their honesty and their reliability.
Wicked side eye.
Yep.
At that, I would also add, with a large mouth, their inability to understand sarcasm.
Yeah, yes. We was, I think, just about to get some sleeps. English, it has been a honor and a privilege to have you with us. I will be needing to relieve you of the party funds of which you is carrying, which according to my maths is, well, using slight debt to the party at this point, but you can pay us back later.
Just buffed again.
Ouch, ow. That's, this is a poor business practice she has.
Artoria, roll a strength check.
Yeah. I'm not trying to hurt him.
You pulled your punch a little bit. It still hurts a little bit, but you didn't do damage.
Ouch.
Natural 20, 2 points of damage. Whack!
August will drop his coin purse on the table, which was the total of 673 gold, 7 copper, I believe. It was a pretty hefty
673 gold.
Yep.
And 7 copper.
Yes.
Alright, just making note of it.
Excellent. And as you is now part of the party, I suppose we give this to... And he sort of starts making the motion. Do we hand this to the new person? Artoria? Prudence?
August, are you sure
You're
you want
the
to give up your
one
entire
really-
coin pouch?
You're actually contemplating doing that? You yourself?
Look, there are certain things that Ice has to do to put up with you tall folk, and part of that is this trust thing, foreign concept to Goblin Con, along with your inability to do math properly. So, is we going to hand this? I mean, they did just hand us a pile of gems. I mean, it's sort of... No, okay, I'll just go ahead and hang on to it then.
One of you knows.
Well, if we're keeping up the common theme of making sure that everyone has an even amount of gold, so that if one person gets robbed and not all the money is gone, maybe we should.
Well, now I have to sort it out again. Thanks for waiting.
Snap will quickly.
You're very welcome. And she'll just give like a super sarcastic smile.
What?
Snap will quickly pull out 50 gold from the money that Oglesk put down and give it back to Og.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's going to need 50 gold amongst people he's helping save from sickness, whereas we will not need that 50 gold. That's good thinking there, Snap.
You never know when somebody will need money.
Well, you do, actually. If you kills them, you know they're not going to need it.
God.
That's goblin
You're
math
not-
lesson number 2.
Infallible logic.
Man, there are gods that let you take it with you.
There is no such thing. It's fine, Snap. It's all for the best. So here you is say it again. Amun.
Anu.
Anu. Sorry, lost it. Here is Anu. Is 623 of the golds. Is you familiar with the spending of the golds?
Very familiar to buy my magical items.
Excellent, excellent. Well, there he is, and we will divvy up these gems over here. And Snap, how
And
come you
he's
have
still a
bigger power?
giant rogue.
And he's still very handsome.
At the mention of
Incredibly
magical items, Snap wants to give him a hard look over.
Roll a perception check.
Oh shit.
That was a whisper. I'll still take it. It was a 23 for everyone interested. You look him over. He's not wearing too much in terms of armor. His robes are fine. They're beautiful dark blue, almost silk. Spider silk, as you're becoming familiar with.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. Wonderfully decorated. But you don't see anything particularly magic on him. You do see a bag that hangs at his side that has a scent you're familiar with as a component pouch. The standard herbs and incense and random objects that make up certain spells.
While he's looking him over, Anu will do a. I'm gonna do an insight check just on the whole party to see how well everyone except for Artoria is accepting him, and I will turn back into my normal self.
Okay. I would like everyone in the party except for Artoria to just give me a basic charisma check.
Great.
They're hard to read.
It's all right. I'm new. That works.
I've been told I has an honest face.
The goblin seems a little bit nervous.
Nervous? Never.
The human man and the tiefling have been quiet. And the bird is a bird. Man, you've never seen a walking bird like that before. That's weird.
Especially one with pure white feathers and red eyes.
No,
Man, you're a snake, and that's weird.
but birds do taste good.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Wolf.
I'm the giant bird form of little Frank right now.
Okay.
Can I? So is he thinking that birds taste good? Like whenever he looks at Snap, is that like his active thought?
It wouldn't be an active thought, but maybe a passive thought.
Can I do an insight check whenever he looks at me?
You certainly can. And
Yantis
sorry,
are
not Obelisk. Anu, make a charisma check in response.
okay. Yantis are just deceptively emotionless as well. Oh,
Hit,
I completely missed that subtle. Tasty burn.
he seems like a good guy, man.
you just see the side of my, like, the deep grooves of my mouth curl, but that's it.
And just to take this out of character, just to put it into words for both the chat and all the players, Oglis is switching characters for personal reasons. He wanted to swap to this new character to have a better time during the game.
Cool.
Right.
That's a bit of a shame, but understandable.
Uh,
Kind of like Obelisk.
yeah. But yeah, new character.
New character, and it will not be the last time you see him.
Show,
Being NPC-ified?
He's being NPC-ified.
Cool.
show Anu, just as a alert. Not too many evenings ago, perhaps only last evening, there was a zombie outbreak in town, and some of us was drug rather indignantly from our beds to do battle with the undead. So sleep in your fighting's clothes. You seem to already be wearing silk pajamas, so I'm not real sure what you're going to do there.
Uncomfortable.
Yes, well, you do as you like. I'm just gonna go ahead and.
die
Artoria, yes?
What's that?
Snap did see Artoria. He didn't see Prudence, but he saw Artoria. He's going to flip to a brand new page in his book and do a sketch. For clarification.
Roll a dexterity check if you don't mind.
Can I do my forgery kit?
Yes.
Snap.
And I have advantage with this, I believe?
I believe so, because Kenku.
Yes, because Kenku. It is perfect.
It is
perfect.
Like there's sketch shade. There's like hatch shading on the underboob.
You drew him like
there's
the French
shadows across the street. Like you made the cobblestone on the ground. It is a perfect portrait of the heavily armored woman minus the armor.
And
Still
he's
covered
going to
in
show
blood
it to
and
the
holding a battle
auntie.
axe.
And he is going to show it to the auntie.
Any which ways.
You're now fairly certain that the armored paladin is part barbarian.
The Yanti will just flicker his tongue.
It is
Disgusting.
also off-putting for everyone.
That was a weird thing you just did there.
Anu will take the advice of Rogue of being battle ready throughout the night.
Luckily, it doesn't take you much to be battle ready, other than to grab your component pouch.
This does actually is slightly fortuitous. Oglisk, you can take our bowl back when you hedge back, and therefore make her Majesty happy.
Yes, we will take that with us as we go. It will please our queen greatly to have the layers of defense back in place.
Anu will ask.
Oh, go ahead.
Just when going to rooms, who does he have to share a room with?
Snap looks at you and just shakes his head.
What's up?
Prue just shrugs.
No, Isoba is volunteering for this.
Okay.
Isoba, the man who doesn't sleep.
Yep.
Creepily watching.
Don't try any fucking funny business.
So do we have two people who don't blink in the party?
You have one person that doesn't sleep and one person that doesn't blink.
Oh, this is
One person with a third arm.
And another that doesn't actually speak.
Oh yeah.
What a bunch of
So
misfits.
I've worked with
Shenanigans.
necromancers that has less strange entourages, but that's fine.
You've worked with what now? She just glares
Look.
across the table.
Everybody has to has a first job.
I think we've had this conversation in the past.
I'm pretty sure we have, yeah.
Yes. Nick Donalds is always hiring.
Boy.
Oh, that hurt a lot of people around the world.
McDonald.
Sorry. Show off to Sleepston?
The two other remaining Yonti nod and bow respectfully, and gently take Oglusk and lead him out of the tavern into the now growing into nighttime. And the bull will be transferred, and that part of your deal is complete.
Quick question before Oglusk leaves. Was he possessing any magic item?
Yes and no. It was a flavored magic item of his wart cream.
Right.
It was
Oh,
a,
we
it was
got
a
him.
renewable healing item
Gotcha.
that Oglusk makes himself. So
Gotcha.
It's the ointment.
Yes. Oglusk, home remedy of Bengay.
Not nice to call Bennett like that.
Do you have any idea how often I've heard that joke since fucking middle school?
Probably pretty often.
You're not
from
the
that-
only one.
From that response.
You are not the only one.
It's okay.
So a short while later, you see Rogue brushing Paladin's teeth.
which is not the weirdest thing you have all seen today.
And in traditional Kenku fashion, as soon as Snap is in his room, he locks the door and exits out the window.
And you wanted to go to the location of the last.
Yes.
Okay. So this takes you back towards the docks. Towards the Temple of Joaquin. That is a real deity.
Best deity ever.
Is
Casey
his-
plays a cleric of
What?
Joaquin in Dark Isle.
Is it
or did.
logoed of a phoenix?
It is the logo of and you see this on the temple. The symbol upon the temple is a large golden coin with a face on it.
Missed opportunity. Worship at the Temple of Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you didn't get that when he first asked?
No, because my brain wasn't thinking about it. I was busy reading something.
I had to. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Roll a religion check.
Where is that button? That button is there.
You've heard of Joaquin as a god, especially in your particular profession. You know that many of the more smuggler, stealer, trader types tend to worship her, as well as legit businesses that sell and trade, but you don't know too
Mhm.
much more than that.
That's cool. I want to quietly slip in.
Okay.
And find the stuff. You know the stuff that I'm talking about.
I know the stuff you're talking about. You roll a stealth check. Okay, you're invisible. Good to know. You creep into the temple and you skirt around crowds and make your way into the back. There's not a particular gathering going on right now, so there's not as many people in here. You make your way into back and you're trying to figure out which one is whose place of residence. You find one that's just tossed. The bed's out of place, the desk's out of place, the candles are somewhat knocked over. You figure if there was any stuff to take, the guards have it.
Is there perhaps a spare holy symbol laying around?
Not in this room. Do you find one though? In a different one?
Sweet, I'd like to take it.
You also remember that one of the people who were at the actually, you weren't there. Never mind.
Smile.
I'm trying to remember. This was like 3 weeks. This was like 3 sessions ago. A month and a half.
About back in the guardhouse?
Yes. No, you would have saw him. There was a cleric that showed up that was wearing the symbol.
Yeah. Either way, I'd like to take one.
Okay. You have a holy symbol of...
Yes. And then carefully case each of the rooms.
Okay. They're very plain, as you would kind of expect from a person of the faith. Not a lot of particular ownership to material possessions. Despite the fact that the god itself is a god of trade and of goods,
Mhm.
the ones who follow her live rather simply.
Yeah.
Roll an investigation check.
Yeah, and Snap is specifically looking for the stuff mentioned. Possibly in other people's possession.
No, you find a few spare robes, spare priest vestiges, a couple loose candles that don't seem to have a place to put them. Nothing of the sort you're looking for.
Any missives among the stuff he does find? Things that were written by the priest church and of that nature.
11? No.
Okay.
No, nothing in the back where you're at.
Alright.
There is another area if you want to go look at that, but that is more for the presiding priest. Where you are now are like where I'm using the word monk as in like friar monk.
Acolytes.
Yeah, acolytes. That's more for the acolytes stay, the ones who help maintain the temple. There's another area for the presiding priest, if you want to go search there.
Yes, please.
Okay, roll another stealth check.
Okie dokie. Where's the button?
You have to make your way out of the...
That would be a 14. That was a natural 2 and a natural 3.
You creep into the room and no one seems any the wiser. Not with the two, they won't see you.
So I'm not the only one who rolled shit. Good.
You get back into, and it is a larger bedchamber. And an offshoot of that room it seems to be like a place of worship, private worship. Roll another investigation check.
Better.
As you're searching around, the first thing you find require a die that I don't have at the moment. You find a small purse that's got 12 gold pieces in it.
I'll leave it be.
You find a prayer book in the area, the personal area of worship.
Flipping through it, what does it contain?
It's
Is it
standard prayers to Joaquin. Prayers
handwritten?
for people that are setting out to travel overseas for business, people that are traveling over land. Prayers for prosperity and for peaceful journeys.
Are these handwritten or are these like generic?
It seems to be printed.
Okay.
The text is flavorful and in script, and it looks at first like it's handwritten, but then you realize it's printed.
Gotcha. I'll leave it be as well. I'm not going to take it.
You also notice that while most of the drawers on the desk are open and they're filled with candles, you find another holy symbol, you find a few pieces of blank parchment and an inkwell and a quill. You find one that's locked.
I'd like to unlock it.
Okay.
After inspecting it for any kind of traps or alarms or...
Roll a perception check for traps.
Wind assisting?
Sure.
Cool.
It is not trapped, it is definitely locked.
Okay. I'd like to open it.
Roll Thieves' Tools. You get your picks in and it takes a minute, and you finally get the last tumbler in place and you get the drawer open. And inside you find sheets of paper. What languages do you speak? Or read?
Common, Orin, Thieves' Cant, and Elvish.
You cannot read the language on these pieces of paper.
Would I have any idea of what language it would be?
Roll
Based
an
upon the
intelligence check.
Oh.
Not offhand.
Okay.
And you're starting to get nervous. You're hearing voices coming from the chapel itself. Two people talking, and they're getting closer to the door.
About how long?
Roll another perception check. You have maybe a minute.
Shit.
Ninja vanish.
There's a window by the area of prayer that looks out over the ocean, that looks out onto the docks. And then there's the doorway that leads into the chapel itself, and the doorway that leads into the hallway that heads towards the rest of the Alkalites' rooms.
Gotcha. On these pieces of paper, is there anything that I can intuit that would be subject blah? Like, is it written
Roll
out
another intelligence.
Shit, where's the button? There's the button.
Not particularly. You may want to just grab all of it. If you're going to grab something.
Nope. He'll quickly pull out his book, scroll down the first few lines of everything, of each of the sheets of paper.
Okay. Roll a forgery check.
That's going to be at advantage 22.
Okay. You get down the first 3 sentences and you're out of time.
Yep.
You can already hear the door, a key going into the door. And they're starting to open it. What are you gonna do?
Wind outside the door and start like up in. I'm assuming there's rafters in the hallway.
Yes.
Great, up onto one of the rafters that I can remember and have it kind of have Wind fly down, kind of startled, and just distract him.
Okay. I will say, roll an attack roll for Wind. This isn't to do damage. This is to see how much time Wind can buy you. Okay. As you poof Wind out, all of a sudden you're you think that Wind is holding their attention for
Enough time, so I'm going to quickly put the papers back into the drawer, making it appear as undisturbed as possible.
As you close the door, you hear shrink. The drawer relocks.
Great. So whenever I close it, it relocks.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Shit. Is there any place to hide in the room?
There's a bed. There's a few dark corners, as you are right now.
Is there a space under the bed?
There is a very small space under the bed.
Big enough for Snap to squeeze into?
Barely. Roll a dexterity check.
Dexterity check. Oh, fuck.
Just can't get in there.
Okay. Fuck it. Yeah, dark corner, out of line of sight, and hood down over top of his face. Not showing his beak or anything and stealthing in there.
Okay, roll another stealth check.
30, it's advantage.
Okay, you slip into the darkness. You take a deep breath in as Wind is tossed away and flutters out like it's trying to make its way out. You hear the door break open.
Yep, I'll have Wind poof.
Thank you, Gerald.
Gets out of line of sight.
Thank you, Gerald. I'll take care of it. Ugh. And someone make sure there's no more birds. Damn thing scratched my eye. You see, as coming into the room is that same priest that you saw at the... Oh, King of mercy. You see him rubbing his eye, and there's a small scratch on his face where Wind bumped into him. And he goes over and he sits down at the desk and he just sighs and leans back.
I'm sorry, what?
You have no idea what was just said.
But I can mimic it, yes?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm keeping that for my repertoire.
And he leans forward and he opens the desk and you see him pull out a parchment and a quill and an ink. And he starts to write something.
I'm not going to bother shifting to see what he's trying to write. Any place for me to poof Wind in the room?
None that wouldn't make noise.
Shit.
There is an audible sound and a puff of smoke when Wind appears somewhere.
What about outside the window? Is there enough of a ledge there for him to sit on?
There is no ledge. The window just kind of... The ledge is on the inside of the window.
Gotcha. So it's flush to the outside.
It's flush to the outside. It does open. You can get the window open. It is one of those gable windows that open from the bottom and open up
Okay.
But there is no ledge for him to stand on.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to poof wind outside as far away from the window as I can.
Okay, I need you to make a sleight of hand check as you try to, as silently as you can, form the somatic component that causes wind to appear. You very carefully and under your cloak move your hands, and wind appears.
Great. How clear is the glass?
It's clear glass.
Okay. Going to start perceiving through wind and have wind just kind of try to fly it outside the window to
Okay.
see what he's writing.
Roll a. Does Wind have dark vision?
Yes, 120 feet.
Okay. Roll a perception check for Wind.
And this will be an advantage. 18.
You see a letter in common.
Mhm.
He seems to be writing it to the sorry, blanking on thoughts here. The guard captain.
Okay.
And you see he's writing something along the lines of, I have read what your guards have sent me, and I do believe that there's an infestation of death within this town. I will do what I can to procure aid to equip your guards to better protect themselves from such a scourge, and I will be investigating on my own to see what
Great, so there's enough of a sample of handwriting there that I could forge it if need be.
possibly, yes.
Okay. Make note of that. And his name was given, yeah?
If you continue to watch, he does write down his name is Othric Vol.
Othric.
Othric Vol. Father Othric Vol.
And he is the head priest of Joaquin.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And I'm just going to sit tight.
Eventually he finishes writing, and he folds the note up.
Yeah,
And
I'll have wind disappear. Not like poof, but just kind of fly
wind
off.
flies up to the
perch.
roof. And you
Yeah.
watch him roll it up, and he, for the first time, lights a candle. This has been entirely in darkness. He lights a candle, and he takes a stick of wax. Slowly drips the wax over the rolled up parchment. He takes a seal stamp and stamps the wax down until it cools. He gets up from his desk and he starts to walk back out of the room.
Once he is out of the room, and I can no longer hear his footsteps.
Roll a perception check.
Yeah.
Okay. You think you're safe.
Okay. I want to go back and reopen that drawer.
Okay. Roll another stealth check. No advantage.
Don't need it.
You quietly make your way through and roll another Thieves' Tools check. Very quickly and easily you get the lock open now that you know where the tumblers are. Pop it open. Quicker.
And I want to start copying down again. First few lines of everything that I can't read.
Okay, one more forgery check. Very quickly, you just start copying as fast as you can. At some point, you're not even looking down at what you're doing. You're staring at the door, making sure that no one's going to come back in on you. And you get down. There's 5 or 6 papers in there, and you have 3 or 4 lines from each of them copied down in quick succession.
Good. Put them back just as neatly as they were whenever I first found them. And start to make my way out.
Okay.
Poofing wind back underneath of my hood.
Okay. You make your way out. Do you take the door into the chapel, or do you take the window?
Quickly looking out the window, how difficult would it be to scale?
There's no it's on the ground floor.
Oh, it is on the ground floor.
It's on the ground floor.
Is the window currently locked?
The window doesn't have a lock. It has a hand crank.
Okay. Oh, easy enough. Yeah, I'll go out the window as quietly as possible and then use Mage Hand to crank it back down.
Okay, you open the window. You slip out very carefully, not to hit the glass. You cast your Mage Hand, hiding against the wall, and just turn the thing, and it closes.
And yeah, Snap wants to start making his way back, specifically cutting through the market district.
You make your way back, and by now it is most certainly nighttime. And the first time in a while, you feel your heart racing in your chest.
He fucking loves it. How late at nighttime?
It's the sun has just set recently, so
He
maybe
wants
9.
Okay. Instead of going back to the inn and cutting through the market district, you said that window overlooked the docks, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back up to my perch where I was.
Okay.
And see if I see the silver hand guy again.
Okay. As you return to where you scouted out, you hop up to your perch, and you see no silver hand mark boats that were there when you last have left and moved on.
Okay. Any increased guard presence as a result of the missive or the little letter that I left the dock keep?
A couple more,
Okay.
but not too much.
Any other boats in dock right now?
There's 3.
Okay.
One looks to be a you'd assume some kind. It's
A warship of some
armored
kind?
in the front, and it's got multiple cannons that are lined up both on the top deck, and you can see porthole windows that are closed at the moment that would also have cannons that poke out of them.
How far
The
away?
It's the third down for the dock. The other 2 are trading vessels.
Gotcha. I'll have Wind keep an eye on the warship, and I'll keep an eye on the trading vessels.
Okay, I need you to make perception checks, both you and Win.
Wind, 14. And for me, 13. Probably nowhere near good.
How long are you planning on sitting here?
All night again.
Okay. Then I'm going to cut back to the other group to see if anyone else is doing anything else.
Of course.
So, other group that was not doing the espionage.
Yes.
Is anyone doing anything?
While I'm in the room with Isoba, Anu would like to talk with Isoba about who he is and where he comes from, and Anu will share his story as well, if Isoba is up to discussing.
I do not like to speak about my home, for it is no home for me anymore. But I am interested in what you would say about yours.
Okay. Anu will respect the silence of Isoba about his home life and share about his, just talking about the history of the Yanti in that area and being given to Medusa, or the Medusa, the queen, at a young age to learn from her and to study the ways of the arcane.
And a lot of the information he gives you, you've already heard. Their people came from the Elves of Ivendar with the queen to become serpents. And that has continued through generations.
Yes. But I'm hopeful of a world where people can fit in no matter what they look like.
It is a strange sentiment. Most of what you've heard, Isoba, about Neon, they are a very xenophobic race. Very chaotic in their tribalism. Very quick to violence. Very quick to kill any they view as a trespass. So it's an odd thing to hear, but keeping in mind that they are once a different breed of people, it sort of makes sense.
Did you volunteer for this trade, or were you chosen?
Voluntold.
You were chosen.
Yes, I understand.
I was chosen for the trade to happen, as she hopes in the success of your party and entrusts me as one of our best soldiers.
I hope her assessment is accurate.
That Anu will nod and say in time he will prove himself.
As must we all.
With that, Anu will crack a smile and reach an arm out to shake Isoba's hand before.
It is reciprocated.
Sweet. That is it for Anu.
Does anyone else have anything? Rogue, that halfling is downstairs. Mighty suspicious.
Yes, as I was saying, Paladin, obviously, this is the most suspicious halfling I've ever seen. And somewhere, I suspect, in Prudence's like nightmare, there's this like sound happening as he's sawing through the barrel of that gun. It's ridiculous how long he has this gun. It's just.
Wait, are you sawing through? You're sawing through which gun?
What?
You're sawing through which gun?
The one that's too long for goblins to use.
Okay, that's gonna bump up the misfire rate.
I would make the argument it's not messing with the mechanism.
It is now a blunderbuss.
well, no,
It is not messing
so-
with the mechanism.
so-
it is messing with the threading.
there's threading. It's
How do you
ridiculous. Look
think
at
the
this.
bullet goes 1,000 feet?
Look at this. It's got these
right.
weird little spirals cut in here. That's just gonna slow the bullet down. We just gotta grind that out with he's got the file. Show.
Oh.
So
Prudence
plus
is going
side, he can now
grow up.
So
on the
to
the
put
plus
put this into mechanical terms, the bullet needs that spiraling to make it out of the chamber.
it
So the
does
more of that you
not.
remove-
That is not
Nope.
how guns
Here-
work.
Here's the thing, he just made it large for.
It's so
Yeah.
so anyway to
fire
clarify
large
mechanically
down,
what's
out.
happening. He's not happy with this gun. It's doing things that he doesn't want it to do. Plus, he's going to need to replace the barrel soon anyway because he's going to get Dragon Bone. So he's starting to use tinkering to fix, in his mind, the gun. Which is it's ridiculous. I can barely fire this thing. Everybody's always standing so close, and then the bullets just blow up all over the place. So he's trying to take out like the explosive part of it and shorten the range, lighten the gun. You know, basically, it's in pieces.
I will say, do you have tinkering?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm a
will
gun. I'm a gunslinger. I get those things.
I will ask you to roll a tinkerer's check
Of course I'll be.
with dexterity.
Of course I'll be rolling a tinkerer's check with dexterity. Why?
Actually, no. This is
Intelligence.
this is pure modification.
Modification.
Is spreading. Modifying a firearm. This is going to be intelligence.
Well, it's good. It's good. I've got my thinking cap on. Paladins, you want to come help me with this? Hold this down with your paw there. Can I get an assistance? No. Hey.
Paladin is a lot of things. Paladin is not a gun mechanic.
Are you sure?
I am fairly certain.
Yeah, you should. So, yeah.
Okay. You saw off the barrel.
Uh-huh.
You're not sure if that's going to decrease.
No,
range of the gun?
she. Now what we've done is we bored out the hollow part of my lance, and we stick the gun on the gun lance. So
Okay.
we are making
I will
a gun
say
lance.
that
This-
in messing with
So we are going true Monster Hunter with this.
Yes, we're making a gun lance.
boy.
So
God, I didn't think you were actually going to really mess with this gun.
Can you stab or shoot?
As you are cutting the barrel, and you are trying to mess with the mechanism that makes, you're trying to get the bullet to fire with less impact that it explodes. And messing with the barrel,
sure.
trying to saw it off to decrease the range, you bend the ever living shit out of it.
Now it's got a proper curve to it. Now I can shoot round corners.
It is broken.
It's not broken. It's fixed.
If you fire it, it will explode.
That is
It is in this instance. You have the weapon is broken.
Oh yeah, the weapon is in pieces. This is going to take several nights of experimentation.
So it will cost money to fix now.
Well, you say fix, I say improve.
It's a grenade. Pull the trigger and throw it.
Exactly. Just convince your enemies to pull the trigger.
Except the trigger is 0.1 second.
No, you see, you throw it, and you're like, you should pick that up and shoot me with it, and they position to you. But anyway, that's what he's doing during the evening. He's starting to work on making a gun lance, which of course first requires disassembling the gun and the lance. So
I will say to make it the gun workable again, you're going to need to spend 250 gold to get parts that are not broken.
These parts is not broken, they're customized.
Okay, well, the customized parts that are now broken need to be replaced before you can mess with making of a gun lance.
Well, obviously they don't need to be replaced. I just need more parts. What better way to make a gun than to have two triggers?
Right. It's gonna
Redundancy.
cost you about 250 gold.
Goblins believe in redundancy. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
One barrel for the front, one barrel for the back. Got
Yes.
it. Prudence, you just have the most horrible nightmares. There is something wrong in the world.
You don't know what it is, but you'll find out in the morning.
Oh, yeah, you will.
It's a very Irkin way of looking at things. Cause I got I don't know how many of you watch like Invader Zim. Cause I got the more organs means more human.
Oh my god, I love that episode.
Wasn't that the one where he just becomes gigantic because he keeps stuffing things inside himself?
Essentially.
I haven't seen that fucking show in years.
Never watched it.
It's
God,
been a
that
while. since I've
pigeons.
seen it.
Okay, does anyone else have anything to roll with? Any conversations to be had?
Nope.
And Snap, you wanted to be there all night?
Or until I'm positively sure that I'm not going to be seeing Silverhand show up.
I will say that if you want to get a full night's rest without taking a point of exhaustion, you have to leave by midnight.
Okay, and what time is it currently?
It is, at this point, with all your watching, it is about 10.
I'll leave at 11:30, cut through the market district.
Roll a stealth check for yourself and for Wind.
Stealth for me, 29. Stealth for Wind, 5. Actually, does Wind get advantage on stealth? No. No, he doesn't.
Okay. In your watching, you do not see another silver handprint, nor do you see anyone messing with the boats besides standard dock workers that move around at night. Now as the hours drag on, you decide that it's best to head back and get a full night's sleep, lest you be exhausted again.
Cool. What shops am I passing by on my way back?
A couple of grocers. There's a blacksmith that has a name I will give you in a minute. I'm gonna find a page that's on. And my book stops breaking. There's a blacksmith called Fine Steel Forging. Has a pretty nice storefront to it. It's a little upscale. You walk by Carrie's Kuros, the magic air quotes magic shop that you all went to when you first got into this town.
And remind me what was in there again?
There was, as far as you were aware, a lot of potions, a lot of healing potions. I believe you guys bought some. No, you decided not to buy them. Never mind. A few other potions of various types. She had spell scrolls. She had a bag of holding. She had a ring of swimming.
You still have that handout. And that was everything that was in the front, yeah?
Yeah. And apparently now she has Gorgon Gland.
Gotcha. I want to push my luck. Walking by, would Snap notice any kind of wards, runes, anything of that nature that would indicate, like, this place is alarmed?
Roll an Arcana check.
Where is that button? There's that button.
You do see, as you walk past, you eye the door, and you see at the very bottom of the door is a along the door frame is a silver thread. You're fairly familiar with the alarm spell.
Yeah, not something he can cast himself, but familiar with it. Windows?
As you look, they are also alarmed. It seems like all the entrances to this building are set to an alarm spell.
Poof wind inside. Is the inside also alarmed? Like if I were to open a door or a window.
I will say roll a perception check for wind.
21.
The way the spell is set up, it looks like any movement, opening or closing the doors, the windows, will set that alarm.
Gotcha. And because it is an arcane spell, there's really no way to disable it without dispel magic, which I don't have. Too much hassle. How early on through my walk through that district?
You're about maybe 15 minutes. You're about 30 minutes in.
The first thing in that, in the stuff, have I already passed his shop?
The first thing in the stuff was... Yes, you did.
Okay. What about the second person's?
You did not pass that one.
Okay. I'll continue walking along.
Okay. You know the second one is at a closer to the southern end of the city. More of more of a farmer heavier area.
Gotcha. So definitely not along the inn.
No, the inn is closer to the center of town.
Okay. Yep. Continue back through the town and yeah.
Okay. You return
Back through the
to
window.
the tavern. You climb back up and into the window, and you find yourself into a long rest. You do wake up later than everyone else.
Per the usual.
But you all find morning comes. The sun hitting your faces. Some of you waking up bright and early for the new day. Some of you pulling your pillows over your face and going, no, 5 more minutes. Isoba has not slept. It is creepy because you wake up and he's just there.
Okay. Waking up, Anu's gonna go downstairs and go outside and just bask in the warmth of the morning sun. It's a little cold inside.
Are you keeping your hood up?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say rule of thumb, so I don't have to keep saying it, is unless otherwise specified, my hood is.
Okay.
Alright, Paladins, when I give you signal, you lunge. Go. Well, it seems it was not as custom as I thought.
You all wake up to an explosive sound, and Rogue, as you fire that weapon...
Oh no, Rogue doesn't fire. That weapon is like secured. There's a stick. Paladin was running one way. Rogue took cover. It exploded. There's little pieces.
Yeah, Prudence will just...
Prudence, you wake up to the sound of failure and false modifications.
Well, I prefer to think of it as...
So what have you done? What is wrong with you?
Well, it's...
I told you to ask me for help.
I had a sudden...
Prudence, you look at the gun, and the barrel is bent, and now where the barrel has bent has blown apart. which has caused the entire thing along the top of it to crack all the way into the firing mechanism.
Think of it as a high-speed disassembly.
You're not allowed to touch these things ever again.
That will make my profession particularly difficult.
Get a new one. You have a lance. Stick with the pokey
Well,
end.
actually, my lance is several yards in that direction right now. It seems it was not as securely as fixed as hadn't been anticipated.
Isoba runs
What do you
around the
mean a
corner with
fixed?
Sharoon's
What
repair.
did you do?
You
Are we
also
okay?
you also see that his lance is also bent to shit. You're gonna need to buy a new lance.
Yes, apparently I overestimated the material strength. So I think if I was to do this with, say, adamantines,
She's going to start collecting the pieces and putting it in her bag of holding, just so it's away from him, and he can't touch it anymore.
As you pick it up, you do see that unless this gun is fully repaired and a new barrel is set into it, because the way it's cracked right now, the powder charge that the rounds that the shot fires out of would explode through the top of the weapon, not through where the barrel goes.
Oh, I
Nope.
need those for
Nope. Nope.
Which would be really funny, thinking about how the powder charge would then blow up in Rogue's face for a moment, and then you realize it would probably also burn anyone nearby him. Strength of that particular gun.
This is going to kill everybody
Well, yes, that's the point.
within a foot of you.
Well, I was hoping for longer range than that. But it's okay. I has my trusty pistol. And if I could just hash that piece back, I think I
Nope.
could.
Nope.
But well, good morning, everybody.
I will say, Prudence, as you look at the base of that gun, the idea of making an arcane cannon out of that does pique your interest.
She's not a cannon, though. I don't know, like...
But my gun lance.
But then you decide, not my profession, and shove it in your bag. You now have
nice.
half of bad news. Right in your inventory, half of bad news.
No, that's just news. It's
Or is it bad?
It's neither. Well,
it is bad.
It's
It is
bad.
very bad.
It's essentially bad.
Well, everybody heard it, so it must be news. Come on, just a little
Nope.
piece. No, oh.
You do look up and lodge in the tavern, just above the door.
You have lost your firearm privileges.
But I'm such a good tinker.
Snap's just going to poke his head out the window and repeat the sound.
That's a good. Yes, what I see this is successful snap sound. So is we all ready to hedge out?
Pulls his head back in, shuts the window.
There's a lot of people now coming out to see what the loud explosion was.
Explosions.
Oh, it's nothing to worry about. We's just practicing our anti-zombie
Not
drills.
me.
Was Paladin and I.
And now they're all staring hatefully at the goblin.
That's you guys always got that same expression. It's wonderful that you're able to maintain that grimace throughout the whole day. I hear frowns take more muscle than smiles, so you must be burning several calories. Weight loss program? Nothing? Alright, she's just gonna go over here.
So what are the rest of you doing?
I'm
thing that I
outside baking in
mentioned.
the sun.
Okay. Snap is doing bird things. Artoria, Isoba.
Anybody hurt?
Rogue's pride, but your healing charges don't fix that.
My pride is
Your
just
worst
fine. That was a successful experiment. I learned a thing. Failure is just a
Any
lesson we
experiment
hasn't
you
learned
walk
yet.
away from was a successful experiment.
Yeah.
So.
What the wise Isoba has said.
Well, you are all fed as part of your ownership of your room. And the day is now yours to do as you see fit, unless anyone has any conversations to have. Or
Walking through the market district last night, was there a leather worker?
there was.
Okay. Snap would like to indicate that he wanted to go visit them.
Visit who?
The leather worker in the town.
Hmm.
You had said at one point that if I wanted to make a gadget outside of like the gadgets that like I have for free, it would be a roll of some sort.
It would be a roll in money, but yes.
Well, she has like outside of the stuff she just ganked from Rogue. She had like 250 gold worth of stuff to build
Yes,
with.
you had materials.
She wants to try to make Rogue a repeating hand crossbow. Because that's not going to blow up if he, he screws it
You
up.
say that.
Yeah.
You say that.
Essentially.
We're just gonna go ahead and strap a few of these cartridges on here and then light them all on fire.
A
You
firework.
can do that, yeah.
And it won't blow up on her if she doesn't do it right the first time.
It won't.
She's tired of him blowing things up, huh?
You use Tinker tools, right?
Yep.
Let's have you roll. This is simple design. You're not really designing it. Let's have you roll with dexterity.
Let me switch my thing.
Okay. You spend the morning pulling together certain pieces of metal and carefully aligning and shaping them, and you do manage to pull together the part of the most of the repeating crop. You'll need a forge at some point to just finish it to get the metal into shape. You may want to just head to a blacksmith and say, make a crossbow body for this.
Can do that while he's poking around in the leather place.
But the you have the drawstring made. You have the firing trigger created, and you have the crank that lets you immediately pull the drawstring back with ease and load in another dart or load in another bolt.
Would it just be easier to buy a hand crossbow and modify? Forging.
You have this thought when you're already almost all the way through making the oh god, blanking on the words again.
The body.
The body of the crossbow.
No, the clip that holds all the arrows. The clip with the spring that holds all the bolts that loads them as you pull the handle back. You're like, I should just have bought a hand crossbow. Oh well, finish. And you have a piece of broken something, insert thing here, that with very little time and heat would make the good base for it that you could just work pieces into.
Okay. So that's what she'll work on while they're off. Like when they head out to go to the leather place, she'll go to the blacksmith.
Curious question. What is the benefit of a repeating hand crossbow overrate?
For the one she can make, deals 1d6 points of damage and will get a +1 to attacking damage rolls. Does not require a free hand to load, has a built-in loader. When you fire this weapon with advantage once per turn, you can forego advantage on an attack and make one additional attack.
Okay.
Artificial weapons are really good.
Because someone is also proficient with hand crossbows.
I will say doing that has used a third of your materials.
Okay.
So mark off 75 gold worth of materials out of that pile.
Sure.
And you do see Snap just staring at the parts.
When he
Trying to
realizes
figure out
what
what the
she's
hell
making.
they do. So it's basically a +1 hand crossbow?
Sort. Let me,
Basically, it's a hand crossbow
I'll copy and paste the
that
thing.
loses the loading property and has +1 to damage.
To attack and damage. And she can increase that to +2 at level 14.
And because it is an artificer making it, there is an innate magic property, so it is considered a weapon, just like her boomerangs.
Interesting. Snap's not going to say anything, but makes note.
Because, yay, reason for the class.
Yeah.
But while you're copying and pasting, does anyone else have anything going on during breakfast?
Nope.
Not particularly.
Rogue will acquire a new lance on the way out of town, but that's about it.
Okay, there's certainly a blacksmith.
They can go together, and when she's done, she'll hand it to him.
Actually, I believe you've heard of that blacksmith from Curie, mentioning that he's the one to talk to about working with rare metals.
I will be back to speak with you about acquiring a lance made of adamantine, as my previous lance did not hold up to the vigor of my tinkering. But in the meantime, we has to be off towards the beach. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay, so I assume you're all heading out to do your various errands. So starting with Snap, you head back to the market district along with your friends, but you branch off to find the Stonewood Tanner.
Mhm.
And you see outside already there is a young girl who's just working on a tanning rack. Seems to be some kind of maybe wolf hide that she's currently scraping. And she nods at you as you head inside.
That very slightly nods back.
And behind the counter, you see a somewhat older dwarf, maybe in her 60s. Gray hair. Her hair's completely gray at this point. But she smiles, face is cracked with crow's feet and lines from smiling for years. Oh, hello, darling.
Oh, hello, darling.
Oh, oh, that's an odd talent you have there. How can I help you today?
He's gonna pull out his book, and kind of pull his robe to the side afterwards, after like flipping to a fresh page. Tap on his studded armor, and write down, do you carry any of this that might be of better quality?
She peers, and she actually pushes up glasses onto her eyes, and she peers down at you. We can make studded leather, but we don't deal in any enchantments here, unfortunately. Can make you something a little stronger, but I don't think you want anything too heavy.
And he'll shake his head and write down, no, I was hoping that you might have something of the enchanted type. Do you know anybody in town that might?
Curry down the street. She deals in the enchanted. From the runic Pansophical, from what I've heard. She actually peers at you. Ah, a bird with a bird. She starts to notice wind in your hood.
Snap will reach up, have Wind step up onto his finger, and hold it out to the lady.
What an adorable little thing. She actually reaches out and gently scratches his head. You be needing armor for him.
Snap will pause for a moment, and with his left hand instead of his right, he'll write down, you can make armor for him.
Strangely enough, not the first owl I've armored. We can do that if you like. Where's my book so I can find the cost of armor?
Typically, it's 4 times the cost of the standard armor.
Yeah, but Snap's wind is way smaller than a horse.
Wind is way smaller than me.
I will say that she offers you a price to make him just some leather pieces to cover him from like stray arrow shots or what have you.
Give me a moment.
For
just straight leather?
Yeah. Say 2 gold.
That's only going to raise his AC by 1. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
She nods and alright, let me see him for a moment. She offers her hands kind of cupped and put the you can put Wind in.
Yeah, Wind will hop over to her hand.
Friendly little bird. She scratches his head and she takes out a small tape measure and she starts gently wrapping it around, lifts his weight, wraps it around, taking measurements for a moment. Give me a few hours. You have some scrap back in the back. We can make this out real quick. She gently hands him back.
We'll put Wind back under his hood. And kind of look around the place.
You see a few sets of leather armor that are well crafted, that are just on mannequin stands, kind of as displays. You see a couple leather wallets on display, sheaths for weapons. The outside's kind of a display area, showing off what they can make. You also are just being assaulted by the scent of leather and tanning oils and ammonia and various slight chemicals just for cleaning and making sure that everything's fresh and taken care of for different projects she's currently working on.
Yeah, Snap is well acquainted with this, considering he basically lives in his armor.
You also hear from the back of the shop.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Dagger sheaths. How many dagger sheaths does she have?
She has one on display. And it looks like they're custom made. The one she has on display, the weapon's not in it, but you can see it's press form to the blade, and there's embossing into the leather itself, carved. Very nice.
Interesting. Okay, noted.
So you will have leather armor for wind in a few hours, and it will cost you about 2 gold.
I'll pay her 5.
Oh, thank you, darling. I have that ready for you in a jiffy. She takes the gold, she tucks it away, and she starts to head back and starts to work on the piece. And as she walks away, the younger dwarven girl comes in holding that same stretch of leather that she was making.
Wind will step out of the way and let her pass by. Letting her do her thing.
Okay.
Sorry, Snap will.
Anything else in here?
Nothing of particular note that stands out among all the stuff?
No, not really. Just basic leather craft.
Okay,
It's very good quality. It's all of it's very
of exceptional
quality. Nothing so powerful that would give you any particular bonus.
Right. Yeah, no, Snap will make a noise to catch the girl's attention.
She turns and looks back at you and waves.
Yeah. And he's going to quickly write in his book and show it to her. I will be back in a couple hours.
Okay. And she runs back into the back of the piece of leather.
Yep. Snap will go back to the Curio's place.
Okay. I'll jump over to Prudence and whoever was following Prudence, because I forget.
Rogue, I think. We were going to the blacksmith.
Sure.
You two arrive at the fine steel forging, and there's another. Actually, no. The front of the store is empty. As you walk inside, you hear the ting, 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 ting from the back.
Is there a bell on the door?
There's a bell on the door, and there's another bell on.
Ding dong!
1 second. Ting, ting, ting. There we go. Your metal tapping against stone. You watch as a dwarf walks out. Large, burly man. Black beard, short, capped, slightly burnt. And his head is shaved mostly. He's got a short mohawk on the top of his head. How can I help you today?
Well, I was wondering if you had a forge I could borrow for a short period of time.
Borrow, no, but I
Well,
can
not
make it.
take out of your abode, just use.
Hey, what you making this? And he
Yeah.
spies your arm, looks at it, tries to figure out what the hell it is.
It waves as she digs out the parts.
You see his face kind of pull in, and he like, "Ugh."
And I just need to finalize the body encasing of this little experiment I'm working on here.
And he takes the parts. This is a crossbow, ain't it? Why did I slip into Australian? Hold on.
You do that a lot.
All of my accents become Australian. Shit. He takes it and looks it over and thinks to himself. He strokes his beard, and part of it kind of, see, a couple strands of it kind of fall off where they burnt. Hey, I can make this.
I want to make this.
I was looking for a gun
I
lance.
made this smile.
Okay, first off, that'll cost you extra. And then he points at Rogue. A what?
Don't listen to him.
Well, she, oh.
Shush. You're not allowed anymore. And it's like, oh,
The dwarf
obviously-
just starts laughing. All right, miss.
Obviously, I'll pay you to rent the space for a little bit. I already have the parts. Just need the forge. Little bit of quick sand casting, you know.
He takes a deep breath in and blows it out. You used to a busy shop?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's do 5 gold an hour. Come back and use me for it.
Does that sound reasonable? I have no idea.
It sounds all right.
She just wants to work.
Is,
Doesn't have a chance to actually use a forge in a while.
Prudence, as an astute, connoisseur of goblin maths and dwarven, negotiation tactics, you may wish to confirm, that 5 gold does include the, appropriate assistance to pump bellows, hold hot things, and other such things as, would be appropriate for, such an expensive wrench tool.
The dwarf looks at you, Prudence, and goes, "Did you tell him to not speak?"
Yep. I'm using tiefling match.
This sounds derogatory for some reason.
The
want to
dwarf walks around to the side of his counter, and he opens up a folding door on the counter that would let you into the back.
She'll scoot inside.
And as you step into the back, Prudence, you're graced by the wonderful smell of sweat and melting iron.
She'll probably come out of this with a couple more burns, but
You're fine. You've done this before.
You're
And it was with a
tiefling, you're
crazy
resistant.
gnome. You'll be good.
how long will it take?
Oh, you already have most of the pieces done. It will only take another hour.
Okay. She's efficient. She has 3 hands.
Yes. Which is useful because one of them is flame resistant.
Technically, all 3 would be, would they not?
Not her version of. She's lightning resistant, I believe.
Ooh,
Yeah, Prudence is a special tiefling.
very special. I
Oh,
like those very
No, the lightning resistant is her armor. Is she fire resistant? I forget if it was her
Hold on. Wait, what kind? Because now I forget. What kind of tiefling are you?
The one that had Mage Hand as her racial spell.
Okay. I'm gonna find that out.
I forget. I don't think I wrote it down because I'm stupid.
I don't think I wrote it down at this point.
Give me a moment. I'll have an answer for you.
So as research is happening, Rogue is sitting like on the floor and he's got his tinker kit out and he's slowly bending a sheet of tin into the shape of a gun lance at like 1/100th scale, and he gets it all set up and he drops a few grains of powder in there and it blows up into pieces and then he starts over again.
There are 3 variants that have the charm person.
No, she has
There's-
Mage Hand.
Mage Hand is Manon.
Yeah. But she does have fire resistance. The lightning resistance is from her lightning. From the scale mail of lightning. There we go.
Right.
I think. Hold on, because I think there might be another one with Mage Hand.
But I
Or
do have
not.
hellish.
Mephistopheles and Mammon.
I do have hellish resistance.
Yeah.
So
Either way, you still have fire resistance.
Okay. So.
I mean, it honestly depends on whether or not you have burning hands or Teaser's floating desk at the moment.
I have the floating disc one.
Manon.
Mammon.
Let me write that down so I know.
You have a floating disc. I have a floating disc.
We
Aww.
have floating disc. Hers
Something
comes
else might have
naturally.
a floating disc. Smile.
Actually, by now you also have Arcane Lock. So you could technically lock Rogue's shit in a drawer that he can't open.
I'm pretty sure anything of Rogue's that you want to lock away is explosive, so he can open it. Prudence, if you would look over here, just over here, and he's holding up like drawings of what a gun lance should be like. It's just like this, and he's got like fire coming out one end.
You look up over the counter, Rogue, and you've always known Prudence to be a bubbly and pink tiefling. As she pulls the hot, glowing yellow metal from the forge fire and it covers her face, it gives this glow to her that is purely infernal.
Yeah, her eyes are wide and she's grinning unsettlingly wide.
Her horns and her features are casting shadows in the worst way possible. And it is the one of the most terrifying things you've seen.
Is that you, Mom? Oh.
That's uncomfortable.
That was uncomfortable.
Very well.
So Rogue, if you want to buy a new lance, it will be fine cost of lance.
10 gold normally.
So he'll charge you 12.
That seems excessive. Will it have the gun aspect to it? And he's like showing off the drawing.
He's offering you a lance.
Yeah, he buys the lance.
Okay, it's 12 gold. And yeah, Prudence, in a half hour you have your crossbow is assembled and it is ground and polished and it is beautiful, and you're suddenly you're suddenly not sure you want to give it to the person who's guaranteed to modify and ruin it.
So she'll hold it out to Rogue. She's like, well, what do you think of this?
Well, it's very nice in a conventional sort of way.
I will say that for the sake of it, you can count that the repeating crossbow is ye olde firearm. You can still use your most of your gunslinger abilities with it.
I mean, it seems nice and all. Where did you put the bullets?
And she shows him the. It's just like a.
It's an internal magazine.
Yeah. The bolts, the little bolts are on the inside.
And he
They're
takes
bigger
out.
than bullets.
And he takes out one of the big explosive rounds, and he's like, "Well, I think he has made it approximately half the size too small.
Well, it's not made for one of those.
Could we like
I could
strap it on?"
possibly make them explosive if you're good.
And you actually both could make explosive bolts.
Well, I mean, it's worth trying out, I suppose. Is helpful if we happen to come across a vampire?
These will hurt everybody just fine.
Sure.
But, and she'll hesitantly hand it over, just so you're not down a weapon.
It is a gorgeous piece.
It's very fine. Thank you. I will carry this, and he sort of look.
There is an engraving on the bottom of it, just gently carved into the wood and metal of the bottom of the crossbow, and it is written in infernal. And only Prudence can read it. And it says, "If you break this, I will kill you."
What's that say about my uncle?
Just pats him on the shoulder. Come on, let's go find the others.
Okay.
Isoba, Artoria, and Snake Person, whose name I will remember eventually.
I knew. I'm on.
You think that'd be instantaneous remembering because he's a new character.
Ah.
Wah wah.
That was my bad joke tonight, everyone.
I was avoiding that particular pun.
It happens.
So do you guys have anything in particular to do as other people run their errands?
Nope.
Yeah, no, not really.
Nope.
Just sitting, chilling out.
Be booling. Tending to our armor or something.
You guys in your rooms, in the bar, walking around town?
I'm
I'm in the
outside
bar.
basking in the sunlight.
As you're sitting in the bar, Soba, and I assume Artoria, as you're messing with
Yeah.
your armor. Now that the crowds have died down and you watch as the way overworked, way too tired halfling takes he goes and he takes a photo from off the wall. He just starts to clean it. And he kind of holds it up and he stares at it. He smiles and he puts it back on. And you notice there's a couple of kind of trophies around this place. There's a few skulls of creatures. You're not exactly sure what kind. But he continues on with his work. Snap, you wanted to go to...
The curio place.
Now that the day has come and business is opened, you see that the alarm, the strings for the alarm spell are inert. And as you open the door, and now that you've seen them, you see that they're not attached to the door frame, they're attached to the door itself, and it traces movement.
Noted.
You walk in, and you are greeted by the same young woman.
Who I failed to remember.
Uh,
I was AFK or I was not there that session.
young human woman, nice blue robes, blonde hair. Today it's tied into a braid that hangs down her back. She's flipping through a book at the moment. Yes, hello. How can I help you today?
Going to walk up, open up the book to the page that he had written down the statement to the leather worker, and do the same motion of pull his cloak to the side, tap his armor, and then point at the page, pointing at the indication. Do they possess anything of this but better?
Enchanting work. I can. It's not a terribly difficult thing. Give me a moment. And she goes into the back, and you hear some rummaging and rustling around. And it takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and she comes back again. Okay, I don't have any armor. Any enchanted armor, rather. It's with me. I can enchant yours. It'll take some time. It'll take a few days. And it will cost you a bit, but it can be done.
He's going to write down how much.
For this time, effort, I can give your armor a minor enchantment that will deflect better. Help it be a bit more resistant to any oncoming damage. For about 200 gold pieces.
How long?
Should be 2 days, maybe 3. 2 days. Give me 2 days.
If I give you additional money, can you get a very fine set made from the leathers worker? That way I'm not without armor.
The ones from down the street, the stonewood. Of course.
Oh, yes.
They may need to measure the armor. Well, no. Magic armor, just adjust. Yes, I can have that done.
Good. Studded leather is 45, and you said 200?
200, yeah. That's for the item and the time.
Gotcha.
And materials.
Before he starts counting out money, he is going to ask, write down, do you have anything that might help me see better? Perceive things a bit easier?
Are you talking about to boost your perception as it is, or to see in inferior light?
I was thinking more boosted perception. So tell me more about the second.
There are items that, goggles, you wear them over your eyes, and they let you, well, for lack of a better term, they give you the ability to see in dark places. It's not pure sight, but it does give you a range at which you can see darkness as if it was dim, and dim as if it was in a lighted area. I don't have any here, unfortunately. You'd have to probably go to Dimladar for that. Philosophical, perhaps. They're quite rare. Other than that, I would have to think. I do have potentially a scroll that I could sell to you. And she goes into a larger book. She pulls out a larger book and starts flipping through it. Ah, yes, here. And she pulls out she removes it from the book, and it's a spell scroll.
With what spell?
The spell is enhance ability. And it would let you cast Owl's Wisdom on yourself, which gives you advantage on all wisdom checks.
And how much would this scroll be?
That would be 300 gold pieces.
Don't just deadpan look at her.
Unfortunately, they're expensive to make. But useful for those who are incapable of casting it otherwise.
After a few minutes of contemplation, he'll shake his head.
Okay. But I will get you your armor set up. And I will make sure to have it for you in the next couple of days.
And he will count out the 245 gold.
Alright. She takes your money and sets it away in a lockbox. And she pulls out the first book she was working on and makes a note into it.
Anything else you might have in the back room that might not be for common buyer?
Unfortunately, I don't have much at the moment other than some potions of healing. I'm still fairly new to the town. I just set up the shop recently, so just getting items together to begin with has been an endeavor. If you come back soon, I'm starting to enchant things. Stuff for the more common folk.
Will do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. She bows her head as you head out.
He'll stop at the last moment, turn around. Right down
Was there something else?
Could you have that leather armor be made bleached white and looking like feathers?
Bleached white feathers. She notes it down.
If it
Of
costs
course.
extra, I will cover it whenever I return for it.
She nods. I'll see what I can do.
He'll nod his head, and we'll turn and leave. Go and find everybody else.
You all eventually meet back in the tavern, where you are all back together once more.
Prudence is pleased she got to work with fire.
There's a small layer of soot along your arms.
Smudged everywhere.
With everyone back together, Anu will speak up if we are ready to continue the quest of his queen in finding the ship that they spoke of.
And at that, Snap will not exactly clap his hands together. It's more of a foop as I drop everything around me.
Snap makes
That's
the
exactly
sound of
what-
dropping objects, and you all look towards him.
You see him sheepishly pick up one of his daggers. that slipped loose of its holster. Contemplating going back and buying that other dagger holster.
They were very nice sheaths.
They were.
Snaps
So, to the east.
Eden's edge.
And Snap will do the finger points at Prudence.
East
Okay.
ways.
Let's go.
Alright, you will get up and head out of the tavern. And I think we will take a small break here.
Woo!
Wunderbar.
Just so
I
the
can top
DM
off
can
on
get
drink.
some water. So let's all meet back together in about 10 minutes. Make a restart.
Cool.
Okay.
Dun 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 dun. What's up?
Not a whole lot. I'm kind of curious if our wonderful glorious DM picked up on the request that Snap was making.
Which one?
The armor being bleached and made like feathers.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Wonderful.
Yay!
So let's ask the DM.
Ask the DM what?
Did you pick up on what Snap was requesting?
Yes, sort of.
Glamored studded leather?
Book.
It's essentially +1 studded leather armor. It just has a command word that makes it look like other things.
I forget. Yes. No, I did not get that.
Okay.
But I will change what she is making in my notes. Oh, wait, no, that's way more expensive.
How much would that be?
That's a rare item. That's way more. I thought you were just asking for like +1 armor. Good question. I'll tell you when I find the sheet for it.
Because I can adjust if it's not out of my price range.
You're looking more in the thousands.
Okay, then yeah, it'll just be bleached and embossed. to
Yeah.
look like feathers.
You'd be looking at somewhere in the 2,000 gold range for glamored armor.
Time to
Rare
steal
item.
from the rest of the party. One morning, everybody wakes up except for Anu and Isoba to find all their gold missing.
Snap, you didn't show anyone else those papers you found, right?
Nah, not as of yet, no. That was
Okay.
going to be his next order of business.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh.
Okay. Discord likes to tell me that it can't hear me, but you guys could hear me, and that's all that matters.
Yep.
It's a liar.
Oh. You should feel she liar.
Ooh,
Technology.
something just went
That was the
bing.
thing.
Ding.
Bing. Oh, Bing! Thank you.
Not a problem.
Your subscriptions is appreciated.
I looked up and it was like resubscribe, and I was like, but wait, I'm subscribed to this.
Ooh, I can do that too. Just be on the same
Yeah.
day. Bing!
I'm at 4 months now.
I don't know. Do I have to?
It does it every month.
I haven't
Yeah.
looked at it in a while.
Gotta do the whole Twitch Prime thing every single month.
Yup.
I didn't
Yay!
realize that I was at it at that point. No. Helps if I log into Stream Elements, because
I'm
it's like,
already-
you got 0 gold, or 0 silver.
Yeah. I'm sitting on a nice amount. I'm happy with it. Oh god. So the price to make explosive rounds for the repeating crossbow. Let's put it at. Hold on. Just so I remember how much normal ammunition costs as well. Let's put it at. To make one, let's put it at 2 gold pieces as a base, depending on your tinkering checks when you make
Okay.
them. And they'll have the explosive property of one. They'll do a 1d6 fire damage and have the explosive property where it damages everyone nearby with a dex save.
Now, just to confirm, this is something that the Kenku could use as well, yes?
Yes.
Gimme.
As long as you are proficient in hand crossbow.
This would actually be for a light crossbow, but I am proficient in hand crossbows.
Wait, is it light crossbow?
I'm the rogue.
Ah, yeah, but yeah, the weapon is a hand crossbow.
Yes. But like crossbow
Theoretically,
bolts
she
could be
could
modified the same.
probably make a other type crossbow version. It would be a higher
Theoretically,
higher DC.
I mean, it's just a longer shaft. And we all know that's what the ladies like.
I will say that if you make it a light crossbow instead of a hand crossbow, it will lose that does not need a free hand because you'll still need, right? Light crossbows require both hands to use.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's got a loading property.
Yeah. It will lose that you don't need a free hand because you'll need to crank the thing.
Yeah, I'm not talking
But it
about
will have all
making
the
a
other
repeating light crossbow. I'm just talking about explosive rounds.
Oh, you could totally make explosive rounds. You could totally make snap explosive rounds.
Yes.
Feathered gimme hands.
Aren't those like the opposite of quiet and stealthy?
What, feathers?
Explosive crossbow bolts.
Nothing says surprise like a bolt going through your stomach and then exploding.
Exactly!
I guess so. Yeah.
Surprise!
And I mean, they would only be used for special occasions.
And depending on how they're made, the quality of the rolls that make them not only affect the cost, but potentially the damage. Nothing like nat 20 on making an explosive and getting explosive bolt with a star next to it.
This one does 3d6 fire damage.
You're unsure of what this one's going to do, but you're proud of it.
This
And
one
is everyone back?
Yep.
I'm back.
Is a third level
Yep.
fireball.
Prudence could technically also do that as an artificer.
I thought you said 30th level fireball, and I was just very confused.
Yeah, it's a 30th level spell slot. Totally.
Yeah, it does like 100
It's when the
d6 damage.
planet cracks in half.
Yeah, no, you're literally firing the core of a
37.
planet at someone.
37
You just
D6.
write Tsar Bomba on the side.
You fire it, and an ancient red dragon pops out.
And uses
Only
its
one.
breath weapon twice.
Everyone is back.
Yep.
I'm here.
Looks like it.
All right, and let's get back into the game. So y'all are walking to
The east.
Vague east direction.
East.
just wave hands easterly. Are you heading out north or south of the town?
East of the town.
East.
North.
Because
Yeah,
if you
probably
go
north
all the way
because that's
east,
where we were attacked.
you hit the docks.
The graveyard was north, correct?
Graveyard was north.
So we want to go north because they were north.
And
the
then
question is,
northeaster of there, I guess.
if we hit the docks, do they hit back?
God
Sometimes.
damn it.
You're gonna have to be careful as your nor'easter coming.
Boo.
How are you
I
gonna
hit rogue
boo
for that
that
one.
one? Not boo hit the docks.
Yeah, that felt a little.
Well,
I
no, that's a
didn't do
legitimate
the first one,
question.
then you tacked on.
The question about the docks is a legitimate question. He said sometimes, which means there are parts of the docks that are mimics. Be careful.
We gotta go mimic hunting.
Hey Payton.
Mimics for sale!
I can't wait for you guys to meet that NPC.
What? Can we meet him fucking now?
Seriously, the Kenku might actually be crazy enough to buy one.
Oh man, that is my favorite NPC I've ever made.
He
You
is
just find him.
fabulous.
He stares at Riffin. You've caught his eyesight. Oh no.
It was rough.
And it'd be worth to buy one just to jab it with the extractor.
You mean give it the split wolf extract?
No.
We do not need a split mimic.
Because that's the kind of craziness that the Kenku's thinking of right now.
Kenku needs to stop having thoughts.
I'd be immune to Isoba then.
Wait, what?
Shit, you're right.
Shit, you're right.
How now?
So, you're all walking towards the north exit.
I asked a goddamn question.
Artoria said the Kenku needs to stop having thoughts, and I said that'd make me immune to Isoba.
Oh, I missed that. I thought it had something to do with you buying a mimic and injecting it with split with an extract would make you immune to the helmet that I still have. I presumably have that actually left with the guard captain, right?
I would have the mimic assume the form of your helmet and stealthily swap them out.
No, because you had it to meet the auntie. Because I can keep track of all these things that are happening.
Well, yes, it's more of a question of should I have had.
I'll say no because he took it and then he gave it back. Because he didn't need it because he had you in a zone of truth.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
This is fact. Yes, the truth.
Because remember, he told you that he had his own way of knowing if people were lying.
Understood.
So you're all making your way towards the northern exit of Evan.
To the northeast.
As you're walking, you do pass by the Margrave's Keep, and you see those same golden scale mail guards with the dragon head armor.
Snap's eyeing that armor real hard.
Up.
And eventually you make your way to the outer gate, and you walk onto the familiar path heading north and turning east.
And as soon as we are a bit of distance away from the gate and the wall, obligatory stealth.
Okay. And Snap vanishes. So, you do see in the far off distance the mountainous rise that gives way to the giant ravine that is the World Scar. But at present, you are heading towards a low dip in the of this side of Paladin, which gives way to an actual sandy. Actually, no, this wouldn't be sandy. This would be a stone beach, be a rocky shore.
There any signs of gnolls?
Give me a perception check.
Since we're all no hunting assistance.
Actually, everyone give me a perception check.
Oh, that's good. I'll do one for wind as well. Nice.
Oh wow.
Why couldn't I have
Actually-
had that perception check that night?
You do see as the grass gives way to broken small rocks and pebbles and pieces of the nearby mountainsides and ground around you. You do see indents where heavy footfalls have pressed in and shifted the rocks away. Lots of them. All moving around this area. Snap, you start to follow some and make your way a bit northward, going up. And as you're moving, you do see some old bits of walls. It reminds you a bit of the forest. There used to be more here, and now there's not. Although much more intact, the nature has not reclaimed this as well as it has in the forest itself.
Okay.
And as you're moving, spy a large tube.
How large? And how
Um, It stands at about, from the ground, it rises up 5 feet. And it is burrowed into the ground, and it's coming out where the pattern of the landscape is starting to rise into hill.
So, in other words, it is totally tubular.
God damn it.
He'll go and kind of listening.
Roll a perception check as you try to peer into it.
About as good as my passive.
You do see, as you look down, is slow running water out of it. And you hear trickling water. Roll an intelligence check.
Roger Dodger.
This is probably part of a sewer.
Am I getting any of the stench of sewer, or is this clean water?
A little bit.
Any indications of recent null activity through this?
I'll go with your 26. Yes. You see slicks of mud that look like paw prints, walls, and in the mud it's accumulated here.
I'll go to the rest of the party, grab them, guide them back to this area.
Oh, interesting. You found a hole.
Yes, excellent work, Snap. Is there a relationship between this hole and the gnolls we is following?
Could it perhaps be a null hole?
What is with you guys today?
Snap will look back at Isoba and in his standard fluent Elvish, since Isoba seems to understand him. It wouldn't be the first hole that I've been in.
Responding in Elvish. Now that is just disgusting and unnecessary.
Anu will hiss at the sad joke.
Snap will immediately snap his head towards the snake. You can understand me.
Anu will answer in Elven. Yes, I can.
This will make things much easier.
Well,
For
as
the rest
you all
of
is
the
just
party, they're all
standing around-
talking in some fancy language.
Yes, as you all
Artoria is just gonna lean towards Prudence and be like, I think they're... I don't like it.
Yeah, Rogue is starting down the tunnel, like tapping on the floor with his lance. As Paladin is tap, tap, tap.
You get a foot in, and there's a door.
I found a door. Tuck, tuck.
Step aside. She heeds her axe.
Nope, Snap is immediately going to come in front of you.
It is a
Arms up.
large rebar wall of metal that has a iron gate, essentially.
I say in Elvish. No, let her destroy her weapon on that.
Snap's going to look at his
Now that I know what it looks like, she isn't gonna do that.
You have a magic giant killing weapon. You could certainly try.
I could certainly try. Because my weapon can't break.
Oh, it can.
Through conventional means.
At the hesitation of the party, Anu will go up and use his acid on the bars to see if it will melt through the bars.
Roll.
Dead acid.
Roll the thing.
Well, do you want me to do just acid splash, I guess?
Yes. Question, DM guide. What's the AC of iron?
I believe it's actually 15.
I know it has one. I just don't.
But it needs to make a dex save.
I don't think you can use acid splash on objects. I think it's creature only.
Okay, so then I can do...
I would let him do it because it makes sense in a way.
And considering that Snap is standing in front of it, Snap's gonna
Iron
dodge out of the way.
AC 14. 19. Sorry, looking at lead. Just let's make this an Arcana check. Anew. Okay, yeah, you leave your cantrip and you splash some of your acid onto the bars. It begins to and start to eat away at it. Slow, and after a couple seconds of the sizzling, it's diluted enough with rust that it loses its acidity.
And Snap will hold up a feathered finger, just one, point it at the wrist at everybody in the group, and then just do the 1 moment gesture.
Okay.
He's going to look over the iron barred gate area. Any traps? Whatsoever?
Perception check. None that you can see.
Thieves' tools to open it?
Yes, sir. You get your picks in, and you try to pull, and you push your pin in, and you just can't get through.
Okay. Can I aim the acid splash into the keyhole to just have the tumblers?
Roll an
Great.
intelligence check. You know that if you melt a lock and it doesn't melt properly and all the way through, you could damage it to the point where it can't be reopened.
Okay. Well, I'll let everyone know, be like, hey, we could take this chance and then use brute force, or just start with brute force.
Snap's just going to wave a hand as he's staring at the lock again.
Snap, as you're staring at the lock and you feel it taunting you.
I know. I want to attempt it again.
Okay. The DC is slightly higher.
That's fine. And this
Thieves'
time
tools.
I'm going to use the mage hand to do it. That's an ability that I can do. Just
Yes.
in case of unlocking it actually triggers something. So, cover behind Artoria.
She'll just stand with her axe in her hand.
And
As an Artoria tends to.
floating thieves' tools working on the pick. Or on the lock.
Actually, she'll put the axe on her back, take out her shield and sword, like her sword, and just be like, all right, protection time.
You just can't get it. This is a harder lock than it should be for what this is. And you're standing there trying to manipulate your mage hand into getting the tumblers. They're just not going.
In doing my Arcana check, would I have been able to maybe see if it was possibly a magic lock? Or is it just straight iron?
That would require more of a detect magic.
Okay. Okay, so at Snap being unsuccessful of undoing the lock, I will gesture to the keyhole and ask, shall I melt the tumblers?
That could lock it entirely.
Snap's pulling a crowbar out of his backpack, handing it to Artoria, pointing at
The small thieves' tools aren't working. Get out the big one.
Yep.
All right.
Pointing
She's
at
got a
the
key.
hinges.
All right, Artoria, give me a athletics check with advantage because you have the crowbar.
Hell yeah.
19.
19.
You jam the crowbar and you start to push, and you're not getting anywhere. And your arms hurt. Really a lot.
Prudence is
What
gonna
kind
walk.
of fucking gnolls made this?
Prudence is gonna walk up to the door and try this. That I forgot I have, because I don't look at the sheet that often.
Oh, by the way, guys, I have a door opening.
The last fucking sentence, though, is why I'm sighing.
So, after Artoria, you're shaking your arms. You just pressed on this for a solid 3 minutes of just pushing, and both of your arms are sore and tired.
She just went at it with an axe. I think we're
Snap,
beyond
you're staring at your thief stools going, how could you have betrayed me? And all of a sudden you hear
This actually gives, well, staring at the thieves' tools failing him for the first time in ages. It's going to give him an idea. But
I don't
he'll
like
be
when your character
speaking.
gets idea.
He'll be speaking with the curio person again. Smile.
and the door is open. And as Snap, as you look at the lock now that the door has swung open, oh, that was a motherfucker of a lock.
Is there any way it could be detached from the gate?
It is fixed. It is built into the gate.
Artoria is going to get a tap on her from the mage hand.
Yes.
It is invisible, and you have no idea where that came from.
Just tapped up and she like looks around and she's like, who's fucking with me?
Snap will then tap her. Point to the axe on her back and then point at the areas right above and below the lock.
Me to like chop it out?
He'll nod.
You do see at the lock, Snap, there isn't just one slide that goes into the door. It's actually two slides. And the reason you weren't getting it, now that you're seeing it, you're starting to understand. There's tumblers at the top where a normal key would be. There's also tumblers at the bottom, and they both have to be pressed in all at once for them to turn.
Oh, fuck you. It's one of those locks. That's modern tech. Fuck you.
It also looks like whatever key attaches to this is like a two-part key. You need to put one key in and then the other and turn both.
Yeah, Snap wants this lock.
That's gonna take some time to remove. Maybe when we exit this place, we could come back for it. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah. Also, holy, like that was really, really loud, Prudence. So
And Prudence, you
everybody
did
on the
hear
underdog.
Well, she kind of shrugs. You were attacking it with an axe. I think we were beyond quiet at this point.
I hadn't done it yet. I was waiting on it though.
You were also grunting very loudly.
Just
Snap, all the while, Snap's just staring at the picture he drew of her. Looking down, looking up.
Well, we're
Looking
in.
down, looking up.
Shall we?
Has Artoria seen this or knows that this image exists?
Yes.
Yeah. You were there when he drew it
Oh, okay.
and showed it to the Yonti.
She'll like try and like snatch it out of your hands. Like, what is wrong with you?
Make
Nope.
a sleight of hand check.
And this is going to be contested.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
With that -2
Make a dexterity.
dexterity saver.
Yeah,
Sorry.
make a dexterity save.
Shit, that's about as good.
Artoria, you have the idea in your head to snatch it up, and by the time the idea hits your hands, the paper's already way out of reach.
Yeah, it's already back underneath his cloak.
What is wrong with you?
Many, many things.
The Kenku just gives you that, Kenku smile. You know, the smile that Kenku do.
Inbird smile.
Like head in D&D, moving on.
Fair enough.
All I can think of right now is that fine of, like, the Yoli nudes. Okay, moving on.
Basically, that's basically what it is. And now he has sounds to associate with it.
Oh no!
Oh man, that is a thought. Moving on. You are all staring down the back of a relatively pitch black tunnel. And it is, as you start to all take steps in, the scent of decay and mildew and fecal matter, it all just binds into this wonderful aroma where the wind isn't taking it out. You're very happy to be here, all of you.
Of course, wind isn't
Isoba
taking it
seems
out.
to be allergic to it,
Wind is in Snap's hood.
meaning Ben is actually allergic to something in his apartment right now.
Can I get a marching order?
Third,
I think I'll take up the.
I'd like to go last.
Artoria will lead, and she'll have traded sword and shield back for her axe.
Rogo goes second.
Kenku will go dead last, having the little owl take flight from his hood and keep an eye on the rear.
Okay.
Prue will be fourth, I guess.
About 50
Are we
feet
in a
back.
straight line or?
Yeah, you'd have to be. There's not enough room for,
you say that.
He does say that.
I do say that.
If Snap's gonna be last, I'll be right in front of him.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
That was my Isoba impression, by the by.
So, you all start to make your way into this sewer system. Can I get an investigation from who's in the front? Artoria!
Oh boy, intelligence-based checks.
Apparently, dex-based checks aren't very good for you either.
I feel as though
That's a
we've
one.
made an error in our
I can-
marching order.
I can get a 1 without crit failing.
Artoria,
Magically.
as you're walking, you hit a wall. And you back up, and you hit the wall again. And you back up, and oh, the tunnel turned.
Thanks. I have night or dark vision.
I know.
Bastard. Yeah, intelligence will -1. Oh, the fuck. And she'll like just try and act like it didn't happen, and then just keep moving down the tunnel.
You okay there, darling?
It's dark. Yeah, she blatantly lied.
Says our token human.
Is there anyone in here without dark vision?
The Kenku.
And the human.
What human?
Hi.
We don't have humans.
Hi, Isoba Gani. Human.
Humans wouldn't be allowed in our
Did
part.
you,
I mean,
did you not take the freaking devil sight invocation?
No! Wait, what level am I supposed to be right now?
You're
6.
level 6.
No, it's not the devil sight invocation.
that's like the first one I take when I play a.
Yeah,
It's,
that's a level 1.
it's the last one. There's so much other cool shit at level 1. I usually take the Warlock invocation that goes with my pact first.
That's fair. That's fair.
So for the sake of this, unless one of you is creating a light source, Isoba and Snap are currently blind.
Isoba is creating a light source. Don't get me wrong.
And, yeah.
What light source are you creating? Just so I have my own thoughts.
I'm casting it on Artoria's axe.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So, Artoria, once more, you are the giant beacon of target.
As it should be.
It definitely sounded like you said you cast it on Artoria's ass.
We've all
Looks
seen
at-
it, and
that's-
now it has a spotlight.
Looks at Snap's drawing, looks back to Artoria, looks at Snap's drawing, looks back to Artoria.
This is
Beat that
appropriate.
The way
light.
tonight has been going.
That's one hell of a way to get an axe.
That ash, though.
You all begin to walk and wander through these tunnels, and it's mostly a straight line. The way you turned, you're heading back towards the city, and you're heading upwards a bit. It's a slight incline as you're walking. And you get the sense that this is part of the main city's sewer system. And probably was part of the old city back when it was much bigger. Artoria, you're looking around, you don't see anything. The walls are gross and icky and covered with stuff, and you don't like it. It's nasty.
I'm just trying to keep my arms to myself. And not brushing walls.
And it becomes harder. What was a 5 foot tall, 5 foot wide tunnel has drawn into itself. It's still 5 foot tall, so anyone taller than that is crouching at the moment. But it is only about 3 feet wide now. There's a small channel of waters flowing down.
Man, this is really small.
Yeah, Anu, you're not happy about this.
Yeah.
You are cramped.
Can I resort to my more feral routes and just start slithering on my belly since I'm at the end?
I will say that you're a pureblood. You are not a snake.
Right, but
You're flexible. You can bend.
that's
I think it would be horrifyingly unsettling if our newest party member just went down on their stomach and goes
Flops on his front and just.
Yeah, no, that would
Wriggling
be
around.
Snap just dips the fuck out.
Nope, we're done here.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
like,
mean,
nope,
it'd
it's
be
going to eat at
useful.
me.
Show a quick question as we mosey along through this scenic waterway.
Oh, I
Well,
assume you're riding Paladin, by the way, Rogue.
yes.
Paladin is very unhappy. He smells everything, and he wants to go home.
Yes. Well, shuck it up, Paladin. This is what you get for listening to Artoria. But as I was asking, when was the last time we has seen sign of our gnoll friends or quarry? As that was a very difficult lock that you seem to have had some trouble with. Does we feel the gnolls was able to undo that lock?
Roll a perception check, I will say, with disadvantage, for it is pitch darkness, and you're trying to look for small tracks. Actually, this would be survival. Sorry.
Except we have a light source.
Oh, we do have light source. Never mind. No disadvantage. Survival check. You do see your teammates' footprints, but you also see other footprints, large, small, running through here.
Interesting. I would have thought those big fellows would have had trouble getting through here. This is probably why they hunch so much. Their mothers would be very upset with them.
You do see an interesting set of footprints that reminds you almost of a deer.
Look, it's that halfling.
What?
What? Says
How does that-
everyone.
That tracks reminds me of that halfling.
Prudence, you look down at where they're pointing, and it's the Lacrota
Yeah,
footprints.
no. Remember that thing we fought with the gnolls.
Oh, sure.
It's one of those.
Snap just shakes his head no.
So we can hope it's the one we already killed.
I still say it's that half.
It would be nice if they didn't have more of those.
We should probably just skin him, general principle.
And everyone's uncomfortable. Ken.
Anu's okay with the idea of skinning. He melts his skin once a week.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
gonna be a
not
fun
good.
experience
Well,
for the rest of the party.
And she will explain what one of those are to Anu because he wasn't there. And was Isoba there for the
Nope.
fight, quote
Nope.
unquote? So for his benefit as well. It's gross and horrible.
Did Snap get a good look at it?
Snap was preoccupied
Yes.
with murder.
Snap
But
was.
it had started in the general area of where Snap...
It had started in the general area. You
No,
would
it
have
was on
noticed
the
it's
other side of the battlefield of Snap.
it was a very large canine-looking thing with very thin, deer-like legs and no teeth. It had bone plate in the front of its mouth.
Can I do a quick drawing of it?
I would say, based off distance that you were in the battlefield and the fact that most of the battle you were concerned with the thing shooting up on you, I'll say just roll dexterity.
Just a dexterity check.
Just a dexterity check.
Blech.
It
Um,
looks kind of like a dog.
Do I still get advantage on that?
No, this is just the trying to quickly rendition a
Okay.
thing you didn't see very well. You didn't get a really clear look at.
That's the cute
Close enough.
looking version.
It's like a body of a dog, and you just draw just straight lines for the legs.
Little
True,
balls
you
at
do
the
give a
end.
pretty good description, considering you're the one that kind of dissected the damn thing.
Is it possible to tell when those footprints were made, or is it just like too much traffic?
Too much traffic, too much water moving through here. A lot of the footprints you're seeing on the side of the channel also look like they've had water pushed through them. So it's kind of hard to tell. I would like anyone trained in Arcana to...
Not Snap.
Nerp.
As you're walking, Prudence and oh no. Notice on one of the walls there's a runic symbol carved, and then another one 5 feet next to it.
Do you know what language?
What languages do you speak?
Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Sylvan.
It
A lot.
is a abyssal rune.
Okay. What does it say?
It's not a word.
Okay.
It is a runic symbol. And with a 20, it is a symbol used for illusionary magic.
Illusionary magic. Okay. At
Snap,
that,
you look over and it looks kind of similar to the way the letters were.
Immediately pulling out the papers. and seeing if any of the symbols match.
None of the symbols match, but some of the way the symbols are carved, the method of the shape of the symbol is similar to what you have there.
Mage hand, tap on Anu.
Okay. I respond.
You see Snap holding a few pieces of paper with abyssal written.
Okay. Am I able to read?
You are. Call over Artoria with the light, I assume, so you're not trying to read this in the dark.
Snap will
dark
cast
vision.
dancing lights.
Okay.
Have them all four hover around, spaced about 5 feet apart.
It is a what he managed to copy down was it seems like prayers. The name Yinagu comes up a lot.
Okay.
The word fang comes up often.
Snap is going to recite whatever the Joaquin priest.
Who
had
here
said.
speaks abyssal?
I do. I think that's only.
Because I'm assuming Anu is telling us this.
Yeah.
If not, I'm not repeating.
Is it just Anu?
Mhm.
Okay. Anu, as you hear what Snap says, it breaks down to, it is almost time. Soon these mortals will be devoured.
Oh, so the warm and fuzzies. Okay, I will relay that to the group, along with what is in the papers. The keywords being Fang and Inagu.
Snap's going to curse fluently in Elvish. And then
Okay,
say,
this
"I should've
time it
killed
is
that fucker."
appropriate.
The first paper, to just get an idea of what it's saying, the first paper, as much as you had copied down, says, and it's a rough translation too, give praise to the great hunger. Let its fangs rise from the burning depths and give way to ceaseless agony. For it is only the hunt in which we live.
Well, it seems that the priest is not what he appears, and is indeed in league with the halfling and the demon Inayu.
Man, you were so close. I was with you for so long on that.
Until the halfling.
Not the halfling.
It's a halfling.
Okay. Can I do a history check, being of the area, if there's any extra information that Anu may know about Inagu to share with the...
That would be a religion check.
Oh.
I think I did a successful religion check about Yinagu.
You did.
2 sessions ago.
Okay, so I won't be able to tell them anything else.
Isoba, the more we're speaking about Yinagu, Yinagu is the great hunger, the abyss. It is a abyssal prince that lives for slaughter and to feed. It's the father of animals, but its followers are anything that is driven by hunger. It makes sense that why certain animals would be brought into the fold of Yinagu. The word fang brings interest. Fangs are... Roll another religion check.
For Isoba.
Fangs are non-bestial followers. High-ranking non-bestial followers.
Oh.
The phrase, may the fangs rise up, it ticks something in your mind. It's not talking about a mouth. It's talking about people.
It's so obvious. Who else would profit from hunger than someone who serves food? It all points to the halfling.
God damn it.
Give me that. Hold on.
He does have a point.
I call that good enough. The Kenku is not swayed.
I swear, if this somehow does come back to be him, I'm gonna owe you.
It's all about this. Look at this. Now Algie has to take care of this priestly fellow first. It's not good to leave such loose ends, but the halfling, it's all signs point to halfling.
Before we come to that conclusion, let's continue down these tunnels.
What's everyone's passive perception?
18.
12.
16.
Winds is 10 plus 3 plus 5 is also 18.
I will need everyone to make dexterity saving throws.
We all get a +3 to that, thanks to Aura of Protection.
Woo!
Oh boy, give me a hot second, because I don't think I have it. Mr. Sheet. Or is that next level that I get that? Yeah, no, that's next level that I get that. Okay. Either way. 17 with the plus.
You all stop as you hear something. All your heads pop up once. And you look at the wall where the ruins were, and you see a head poking out of them. And the wall fades, and you see a ghoul. And before you all have a chance to go, ah! You watch as the ghoul reaches up, grabs a lever, and pulls it down and tucks into the wall. The wall behind you immediately and
How far
pushes
back?
you all into the wall. You are all thrust into past where the illusion was, and you are now sliding. There is a large ramp that is covered in liquid that is sending you all sliding straight downwards towards a pit. Anyone who rolled under a 15, you are starting this prone as you all crash into the floor.
Question. How far back did the wall collapse from us?
The wall next to you was right next to you, and so it's a 3-foot long, it's a 3-foot wide cavern, and the wall next to the wall on the opposite side just opened and pushed you guys in.
Okay, so in other words, wind is nowhere near me.
Nope.
Shit. Because I had wind tailing back about 50 feet. Is he able to catch up?
He would in a moment. But you are all dropped ass over tea kettle into this room. You all take, and whoever failed this takes 4 points of damage, and whoever passed takes half, so 2. And whoever failed is currently prone on the ground in a pile of your friends.
Awesome.
Ow.
You are greeted by a loud, lumbering noise of a large creature made of tentacles and a giant mouth. I'd like everyone to place their tokens at the bottom of the slide here.
Come on.
We're gonna mark who's prone.
I am.
Me.
It's not the Kenku.
Because when we come next week, we're gonna be rolling for initiative.
Oh, can we not kill it now?
Nope, I don't want to go past midnight.
Thank you.
What?
So all of you come sliding down. Ah! And that's what we'll pick up next week.
Wait, I took damage.
Roll a d4.
Ah! One charge. One charge.
What is it? Wait, what?
When I take damage, I get a charge on my amulet. Or I roll a d3,
Oh,
so I may charge like my
Did
amulet.
you reveal what the amulet does?
No, but
Has
actually,
not
no. By
I've
now,
used it.
by
I've
now
used it
you've
a
all
couple
figured-
times, so
By now you've all figured out. I'm gonna reveal it for everyone to say.
okay. Yeah.
All players, safe changes, and show.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty.
If you scroll down, you can see what it does.
And as we all catch up on that, I'm gonna roll us off of Twitch. Good night,
night.
Twitch.
Night,
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.